respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, oof, I told them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game. I told them this ain't a game.
Hey, yo, what is up? It's Phins Take with CB83. Hey, back to you for another show. Look at my lighting. I'm a little dark, man. I got to lighten this joint up a little bit. What's up with y'all tonight, man? We out here. Hey, the Wolfpack is supposedly coming through tonight, man. Let's see if they show up, man. Let's see if them dudes really show up, because they was talking cash the last couple days. They've been... I showed up, back on the platforms, back in chats. They got a little heated because I was talking positive, like I do. My camera's having a hard time focusing right now, but we're gonna get that right. So yeah, man, they had a hard time because I came in there and I threw some positivity out there, trying to give them some fair assessments of what's going on. So the Wolfpack might be coming through tonight. Hey, when you see a Wolfpack member enter the chat, please be sure to throw the wolf emoji in the chat. Let me know they're in here. That's their signal. You got to throw out their bat, like Batman got the bat signal. The Wolfpack, they got the wolf emoji. So you gotta throw that in there. You gotta throw it in there, because that's their calling card. I'm actually working on a T-shirt for them right now too, man. I'm working on the graphic. The graphic took a setback last night because the Wolfpack was on Batman's show, kind of talking reckless, and they kind of dug themselves into a little hole. So the Wolfpack logo was cool at first, but it's kind of getting whacked. The more they talk reckless and nonsense, the whacker the logo is going to get. So I'm hoping to have this out soon. And I'm going to throw it up on the show too. I'm going to have it ready to go for them. But they got to come with it, man, because they're struggling. But we're going to get into talking some Phins tonight, man. What's good with everybody? I've been ghost, guys. I went to Howard Homecoming. That's my university where I went to school. So I was traveling with the family. We had a good time, man. I also had my daughter's birthday the week before that. So my daughter's birthday was on the 15th, right? So that week was crazy for me. My mother-in-law, her birthday was that Wednesday. My daughter's birthday was Saturday. My niece's birthday was Saturday as well. So I had two birthday parties to attend. I had one to attend on Saturday, and then I did my daughter's on Sunday at my house. So crazy, right? Got to get my house back in order after that. And then we were traveling Thursday to go to DC to go to Howard Homecoming with the family. I took my kids up. That was the first time my kids had been to DC. So yeah, we did some family stuff. It was cool, man. It was real cool. I really enjoyed it. It was a good time, and I enjoy spending time with the fam. Because especially traveling, because we spend a lot of time at the house. We spend a lot of time doing stuff around here. But when you travel, you get a chance to show your kids new things, help them, garner different experiences. So I really appreciate that time. I try to soak it all in and not, be on the phone as much as I usually am, or, worried about the Dolphins as much as I usually am. So, yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. We got 10 in the room. Let's get them likes up real quick, man. Let's get the 10 likes. Once we get the 10 likes, I'm going to start talking about some Dolphins. Look, man, we got my man Raul in here, man. Raul says CB83 just crushed the Wolfpack tonight. I know, bro. They can't come to me with that nonsense. The Wolfpack, they don't have a home here, man. And when I got up on the panel, they were making phone calls like, yo, CB83 is here. Hey, come help me. I need help. And that's what Lewis and Von Joe be doing. The president and the vice president. When I get on the panel, they calling their boy, they calling crypto, bro. It don't bother me, bro. I could be a one-man show and just and be a loner, bro. I could handle that. So Raul says, Tua, tell them that today Tua is way better than Brady and Rodgers. He's playing better football than them guys, right? Them guys having some struggles. And that's honestly, that's what happens, man. Depending on your situation, depending on what's going on around you, that's usually why you're struggling. You know, if your team is struggling, you're struggling as a player. That's just how it goes. You can't tell me that everybody around Tom Brady is playing well right now and he's just playing poorly. Is that the case? Is Tom Brady is the cast around him playing great and he's playing poorly, or is it the cast around him that's playing poorly and he's kind of playing down as a result of them playing poorly? Like, what is it? Like, and that's what I try to provide. They say I try to provide fake context for my narrative, fake context, right? So they say it's fake context, but it's context. There's no such thing as fake context. If Tua had a decent offensive line last year, if he had a solid group of wide receivers that were healthy, if he had a solid running backs with who could pass block, run block, do everything, if he had a good offensive scheme, I think he'd be a good football player. I mean, I think when you lay all of that out and you say, hey, he's got good stuff around him, I think he's a better football player. And that's what we have now. We have better wide receiver group. We have a solid offensive line. When everybody's healthy, it's a solid offensive line. The pieces are really what stands out to our offensive line. The Connor Williams piece is a solid piece. He's good. He's playing good football. Teron Armstead, when healthy, he's good. He's playing good football. That helps make up for the bad we had last year, the Jesse Davises of the world, the Dieters, which Dieter wasn't terrible, but we just got to upgrade at the position. And that's all you need sometimes is an upgrade at the position, a more experienced guy who could lead the unit, right? That's important, right? Shake, what's good, man? Hey, Shake, it's another beautiful day in Zamunda. Another beautiful day. Throw them fans up, man. Miami Fan Talk Show. What's good with you? What's good? What's good? Mountie Phins in this joint. Mountie, are you a Tua hater or are you a Tua supporter? It's hard for me to. I mean, I can't. When you come over here, you rock with Tua. On other shows, it's like, I can't figure this dude out, man. It's hard. It's hard to figure that dude out, man. Q, what's good with you? What up, big dog? What up, Uso? What's good with you? Family first, always family first, man. Family first, and y'all know what time it is, man. You got to take care of your family first. Put them first. Family, friends, God, religion. Football's a cool sport. It is, but it's not my life, and it shouldn't be yours either. There's a lot more to life than watching some grown men play a game, but I do love it. I do love the Dolphins, and I do love watching them play and win games, man. That's what it's about. And them boys winning right now. Tua wins games. When he plays start to finish, he's a winner, right? And we can say that. I mean, Tua's not out there losing his games. He's not. Not out there losing his games. Q said, you ain't missed nothing while you were gone. Just the usual BS. What's the usual BS, Q? What are they talking about now? Are they saying we need to fire a head coach because he's an offensive-minded coach and the offense isn't scoring 30 points a game? Is that what it is? Because I heard some of these takes this week, and I was just like, man, is this what they're on now? Is this what they're on? He said, yeah, man, I do not need reinforcements. Not for them dudes, bro. That Wolfpack can't hang with me. That's the last thing I need is reinforcement for them jokers, bro. Florida born, Kentucky grown. What's good? What's good with you, my guy? What's up, man? What's cracking? It's a Friday night. Hey, I don't know if you got a drink in your hand or what. I'm about to get one in my hand, man. It's Friday night. And it's a good day, man. Hey, we got Detroit this weekend. We got a nice little stretch where we can basically get ahead, man. And that's what it's about during the season too. If you get stretches where, you get some teams where you can kind of tune up, sharpen your skills on offense, on defense, get better as a team, get better as units, bro. This is the perfect opportunity for us to really go out there, play a good football game, and put it all together. That's what I want to see too. I want to see us put it all together in all three phases because we haven't done it yet. We haven't played a game where it's been everybody playing well for 4 quarters. So maybe this week that comes, and then that's a boost of confidence going into the week after that. And we just slowly get it rolling. I'm looking for a crescendo, right? I don't ever want to see my team, my NFL team, do like a decrescendo where they're playing well, and then they're playing bad for the rest of the season, right? I want to see my team slowly get better each game, get better and better and better and better, right? And it won't always be obvious that they're getting better, but even a loss could be like a getting better. It could be a learning experience for them. So even if they're getting better, they look like the trajectory is upward, and then they take a loss, it's like, oh, okay, I learned my lesson from that. Now I regroup, we go back to the film room, we clean up the mistakes, and we figure it out and get better the next game. Right. So it could happen. It could happen where, you take a loss, but it's a learning experience too, man. You gotta appreciate that for everybody. And that's what I talked about the other day. Like, Mike McDaniel's making certain calls, going for it on fourth down, things like that. Like he's a rookie head coach. So he's got to learn to pick and choose what he can and cannot do too. So this isn't just a learning experience for the team and the players. This is a learning experience for everybody. Everybody, the coaches, the training staff, the strength and conditioning staff. This is a learning experience for everybody. The injuries, how to plug and play, all this stuff that's going on is helping them figure out how they could be a better football team. Late in the season and in the future as well. But you got to take it game by game, right? You got to take it game by game because that's how you're going to approach it. I mean, that's all you can do. And it's the NFL, so you never want to overlook anybody. If you go in like overlooking Detroit, looking past them, they'll sneak up and beat you, man. That's just how it is in the NFL, man. So, and that's why also I can appreciate games like the Pittsburgh game. Like I can appreciate a game where, we struggle offensively. We come out, we play well initially, then we start struggling offensively, struggle. And then you have the defense step up and make a play. Defense plays well. I can appreciate that. That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. And maybe next time the defense is struggling, and the offense comes through and makes a play. And offense did that in Baltimore. They've done that, right? So it's you got to take every game is going to be different. And I'm not looking at games like I'm not going to look at the Dallas game and say, oh, we should blow we should blow the Lions out because Dallas blew the Lions. Dallas struggled early on, right? If you watch the game, Dallas struggled early on, then they start getting going late in the game and they score points. So I'm never gonna say that we should do something because another team did it. Nah, it's just not how I approach it, right? Mudbone, what's good, man? We got Mudbone in here. We got everybody. Oh, Wolfpack. Oh, it's selective context. Okay. So selective context is saying the offensive line, the running backs, the wide receivers needed to be better in order for Tua to be better. Is that selective? Is that because it's fitting? You said it's fitting my narrative, Andro. Is it fitting my narrative? So that's selective. It's context, bro. There's no such thing as selective context. I know you want to make up these scenarios where you sound intelligent, but there's no such thing as selective context. There's just context, right? I've never heard of anything selective context. Can anybody go look up selective context on Google and tell me what they see? They're not going to see anything because there's no such thing, my man. No such thing, bro. He said, yeah, the Wolfpack is in the building. Fool. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Throw the Wolfpack emoji in the chat. We got one Wolfpack member here. Call your other guys. Call your other boys. Vonjo, call them. Call Lewis. Call Pete. Who else in there? It's a couple of y'all. It's a few of y'all. Call your crew, man. Call your crew. Tell them to mount up. Tell them to rally up. Florida born. He says, I mean, the same can be said for MVP Aaron Rodgers. It could be said, man. I mean, guys struggle, and that's the nature of the game, man. That's the nature of the game. Mountie says, I like Tua, but he makes me angry a lot, bro. And that's football, man. I mean, the same can be said for Brady right now. Bucs fans are saying, hey, I love Tom Brady, but he's making me angry right now. He's not playing well, right? I mean, it could be said for any quarterback. I mean, everybody can say they don't like somebody in the moment because he makes you angry because he's not making the perfect play. And quarterbacks aren't going to make perfect plays. There's not many perfect quarterbacks out there. At some point, you're going to be angry with them. Shake's in here. Mountie's in here. Mountie says his allegiance is to the Dolphins, not to my allegiance is to the Dolphins and not to either. So if Tua is gone, shit, I ain't no Tua fan no more. I'm only a supporter of my quarterback. Yeah, my quarterback, man. Yes, I did hear about X. I heard unfortunate situation. Man, X, you got to do better. But see, and we don't know the context of this relationship, right? Like, is this a girl he cheated on his girlfriend with? X isn't married. I don't know what is going on. So X isn't married. So it's like, bro, you're not married. You're passing around this, supposedly it's an STD, right? To a girl. He probably just pissed the girl off, and now she don't get back. She on demon time. She wants some money because he pissed her off. It's like, bro, y'all gotta find a way. If you aren't able to keep these women happy, then just don't mess with them in the first place. Because it's always something, bro. And that's what they gotta realize as professional athletes and with dealing with women and having a lot of money. You gotta realize at some point that it's not worth the headache, right? It's not worth it. You got to figure it out. It's not worth the headache. Just get a wife and live your life with her. Get some kids, have a family, and just rock it that way, right? Doing all this sleeping around and it's only gonna cause you more headache, right? It might be pleasure in the moment, might be cool for the moment. You might look like you the man for the moment, but eventually it makes you look like you're not the man, okay? Because you can't go around trying to please 2 and 3 women, man. It's impossible, bro. Somebody's gonna catch feelings. Somebody's gonna get upset. Come on, man. We got to do better, X. We got to do better. And you've had some situations, man. You gotta be better, man. Yeah. So that's the X situation. It's unfortunate. He'll figure it out. I don't think the NFL is going to take any action on it or anything like that. It's just more drama for us to deal with, more drama for Mike McDaniel to deal with, more conversations to be had about how you should conduct yourself as a professional and as a grown-ass man. Like, bro, like, figure this out before it gets to this point. If you needed to pay her before it got to this point, you should have just paid her. Right? First of all, why are you sleeping with women and not having them, sign NDAs and stuff like that? Like, you're a professional. You gotta move like a professional, bro. You can't just be out here willy-nilly, man. Come on, man. Mountie says, hey, we need not take Detroit lightly. We almost lost to Pittsburgh, and I'm with you, man. It's the NFL, so it really is any given Sunday. Really. Any given Sunday, you can get your butt beat. Hey, we got 20 in the room. Hey, hit the like for me. Hit the subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We're almost to 500. We at 498. We're trying to get to 500 tonight. I just need 2 more people to jump on the subscriber bandwagon. I'm going to start cranking up more often too, man. I'm going to start doing it probably at least 3 times a week. My son just finished his Pop Warner season. They lost in the playoffs on Tuesday. by a touchdown. So no more practice for him every day, games every Saturday morning. Bro, Pop Warner football is a lot. It's a big commitment. So they were practicing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for 2 hours, 5:30 to 7:30. Then they would have games on Saturday. You're out there from like 9 a.m. to like 1 p.m. So it wears you out, man. So no more Pop Warner. So I'll be able to crank up a little bit more, man. Yeah, man. Raul, you didn't miss much, man. We were talking about the X situation. So X, in his little situation with the Chicas, the boy getting too reckless, man. Too reckless out here. Von Joe says, so you don't know what it means to select what context you pick and choose as to use and conveniently leave out. No, I pick and choose. So it's not even selective, bro. It's just context. So if I say, hey, I felt Tua would be a good quarterback in a better system with better players, that's just what it is. Like what else can I say to that? What am I leaving out, Bonjo? When I say that, it's just what am I leaving out? Am I leaving out the fact that what context did I not provide you? Because we already know how he played. We know he played average, sometimes below average, sometimes above average during games, right? We already know how he played. We already know what he put on film. The context behind that is, hey, if he was in a better system, if he had better players around him, he could play better. All right. So I gave you the negatives already on the table. What he put on film. Could he have been better? Yes. With better players around him, could he be better? Yes. So that's not really selective context. It's just providing you with context regarding why I feel, he could be a good quarterback. And that's why I think he's playing well right now, because he's in a better system. And I think quarterbacks are very system-driven players. Even when you look at Tom Brady right now, he's struggling. Bruce Arians isn't around. And I think Bruce Arians was a little bit more of a disciplinarian and he had the structure in place. And now I think the Bucs are struggling just because there's no like solidified voice, especially on the offensive side, that is kind of telling guys, hey, this is what we need to be doing and this is how we need to approach it. So we'll see, man. I mean, the season's shaking out very differently from how people said it would. There's a lot of people who said, Herbert was going to be tearing the league up. Russ was going to be tearing the league up. Carr and Devontae Adams were going to be tearing the league up. That's not happening. It's just a lot that people said that's like coming to fruition, and it looks like we could be on the up for sure. It looks like we might have a chance to really make a run at something, and that's what I like, man. I like that we are on the right track. Q said X gonna give it to you. X gonna give it to you. Come on, X, you gotta tighten up, my boy. Mounty says, just for clarity, the decisions Tua makes are head scratchers. Some are. I think he makes a lot of good decisions too, though. So you gotta take the good with the bad. Like there's never gonna be a quarterback out there who makes every right decision in the game. Some are gonna be head scratchers. There's gonna be at least 2 to 3 plays a game where you're like, damn, what were you thinking? Like, what were you thinking throwing the ball there? Did you see something we didn't see? I think you see that with every quarterback, every game. Like, I think that's just a part of the game. They're out there trying to make every play. It's difficult. They have guys in their face. They have guys chasing them down, trying to hit them. There's a lot that goes on. So I think that could be a situation you got to think about. Shake says he's married with 3 kids. Is he really married, though, legally? Shake, I know he has 3 kids. I know he has a solidified at one point there was a solidified partner there. I don't know if she was a wife. I don't think I ever remember her being a wife, but You just don't know their situation either. Did they separate during this time period? Were they together? There's a lot of context that's being left out that we don't know. That's why I don't get into, bro, these cheating scandals. Even the Boston head coach with his little situation he had, I don't even entertain shit like that. You know why? Because I know there's just so much other stuff that could be going on. So I don't get into the, oh, you did, bro. I don't know what your situation. I don't know who you go home to. There's one thing for you to be in the public eye. There's another thing for people to like really know your situation, right? Because people can think you're with somebody, and that's not actually the case. Just can be the case. I mean, that's how it is. So what you put on social media is one thing, but what you're actually doing is another as well. So for you to be posting, oh man, my wife, and it's like you could be doing something totally different. I don't know you. I don't know you from nobody. So that could be the case. So I don't put it past nobody. Florida born Kentucky grown says, hell have no fury like a woman pissed off, man. And that's no lie. Anything that can bleed for 7 days and not die. That's crazy. Yeah, they do, man. Women are special. I mean, but we need them as well too. So, and when you got a good woman, you're much better off, man. And that's how my wife is. My wife supports me in what we do, what I do. She's my rock. She holds it down. So it could either be a real good thing or it could be a bad thing, but there's really a fine line between it being good or bad too. And that's basically how you make it. Man, we got Miami Fan Talk Show in here. Earl Wright, what's good with you, man? He said, did everyone forget that this is a new offense? Must be taken into consideration when evaluating Tua. And yeah, and that's more context. People don't like that context as much. They don't like it because they like to say, oh, he's an offensive guru. He should have the offense clicking on all cylinders by now. You have all these weapons, but it's a new offense. It's a new system. They're getting used to it. A lot of the guys we see playing well have been in their systems for 2 to 3 years, uninterrupted, undisturbed. All they did was add more pieces or have pieces deducted away. I mean, because teams change every year. So that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot to consider. It's a lot to consider, really. And Vonjo say, bro, I got 10 minutes. You dropping a link or not? Hey, are we at 20 likes? Let me see, man. Let's get to 20 likes and I'm gonna drop the link. I know y'all want to get in here. I think the Wolfpack wants to come up. I think there's some Wolfpack members hanging in the background, but they hiding until I drop the link. But it's okay. Go ahead and throw the Wolfpack emoji in the chat, and we're gonna get this thing really cracking right now. So let me see how many likes we got. We got 17 likes. Hey, so we have 17 likes, man. We get to 20 likes. I'm dropping the link. 20 likes. We almost there. We only need three more likes, and we dropping a link because I wanna get the Wolfpack up here. So we got Vonjo's the only Wolfpack member here so far. Mounty's he's like an honorary member. Sometimes he'll be it, sometimes he's not. McGoat, what's good? McGoat in here. We got John in here. How long does it take? Woo back. My dog Woo in this joint. Here we go. All right, how many likes we got? We up there yet? We up there. Are we up there? I'm about to crack a drink too. Oh, we got 19. Come on. We got 19. We need one. One like will get the link, bro. Go ahead and hit that. Easy. It takes 2 seconds for me to drop the link. 2 seconds. Monty says, I do recall Tyreek saying McDaniel's designed the offense. Yeah, it's his offense for sure. For sure it's his offense. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Vonjo got 10 minutes. Come get your 10-minute beat down, Vonjo. Come get it. Come get the 10-minute beat down. I'll drag you for a little bit, and then maybe Lewis can come up. You know, he could get drugged for a little bit. I mean, we could do it one at a time. Whatever we doing. Hey, so this is Maker's Mark. This is a private select barrel. This is actually from one of my local. It's not going to zoom. It's not going to focus. But this is from one of my local liquor stores, man. One of my local spots here. It's called 5 Star Liquor in like the Apopka area. Man, this is a really good store pick. Really good drink. I actually cracked it for the first time last night, and it was fantastical. Let's go ahead and bring up the first guest. He was talking. He only had 10 minutes. He's got to go to bed. He's got a bedtime. Nighty night. So let's go ahead and get Von Joe up here. I'm gonna let him, speak his piece before he has to go, cuddle up and get his teddy bear in the bed with him and hang out with wife. So let me go and get him on. Von Joe, welcome to the show, man. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I got a little feedback, man. You good?
Let me come back in. Go out and come back in.
Yeah. Go out and come back in. I'll get you right. I'll get you right back in. All right, bet. Yeah. So that was Von Joe. He's going out and he's coming back in. Let me get Von Joe in here first. I'm gonna let him speak his piece. Let's get back in quick, Von Joe. I went ahead and poured me a drink. We're gonna cheers real quick. Yeah, man, we got a nice little Maker's Mark. Hey, cheers, man. Cheers. Nice little color there. Little caramel color. I love it. That's good, man. Some good stuff. Cheers. Some good stuff, man. Hey, so while Von Joe is coming back in, I'm gonna go and let my dude Mountie up. Mountie, what's good with you, man? How you doing, Mountie?
Hey, I'm chilling like a polar bear's toenail.
Hey, cold like a polar bear's toenails. Oh hell, there he go again talking that shit. Hey,
yeah,
that's
man,
the Outcast. What's up with you?
Good. Yo, just to set the record straight, hey, look, I'm a Phins fan before any one player.
I respect that.
They come and go. So, but I do like Tua. I think he can be he's a good quarterback. It's just that he has to, I guess he has to mature into the position. But let's put it like that. This is his third season. His rookie season, he only played half the season.
Look at you. Hey, look at you providing context. Look, I don't even have to do it. You're doing it yourself.
He only played half the season. So, however, my concern with this is my personal preference. I like quarterbacks that can do a lot of things, that can use their legs, that can, can mix it up and not be predictable.
How many quarterbacks are like that in the NFL? How many out of the 32 starters we have? How many think?
Well, I mean, the ones that do it predominantly are Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And then you got Kyler Murray. You got Kyler Murray that can do it. That does it. So the ones that predominantly.
So you're looking at about. So you say about 10% of the league can do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's just what I like.
3 quarterbacks, like 3 to 4. Right. So that's your thing. That's what you prefer. A quarterback who can mix it up. Now, that's honestly cool. I think that would be an ideal situation where you could have a quarterback who does both and they can mix it up. The thing about that is I don't think those guys who mix it up end up being really great passers, and like guys who just end up being like, I feel like they don't have the longevity in the league. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I get it, because you're more prone to injury because you're outside the damn pocket all the time.
Right. So I feel like those dudes aren't the dudes who last. I feel like the Bradys, the Aaron Rodgers, those guys who are pocket passers who stay put, those are the guys who last in the NFL and who can play, long into their 30s and 40s because they've learned to stay in the pocket, be cerebral, and pick teams apart, opposed to running and trying to be athletic.
Yeah, and they learn to get their asses on the ground and slide, not take on tacklers either.
Yeah. You're right. And that's a part of
when you get people that tell me, you get them in Twitter spaces, you get all these ignorant motherfuckers that smile. Oh well, he's a football, but no, listen, you don't want your quarterback taking hits at all. At all.
You don't. But it's also you don't. But it's also a part of the game. So it's like when a quarterback gets sacked.
Right. If he gets sacked, but when you run outside the pocket and you run in onto a tackler, that's no go. I don't like that. That shit gets you cussed the fuck out.
I feel it. Von Joe, what's good? What's cracking, man? Cheers, good brothers.
I see you on that Maker's Mark, brother.
Yeah.
What's that exclusive?
That's that exclusive 5-star, man. I gotta get you on my liquor stores around here, man. I know you in the Kissimmee area, but we got some stuff over here too on the west side, man.
No, but I've had that Maker's Mark before.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Makers does some good stuff, man.
Oh yeah, they do. I like that yak, so I mess with Makers.
Yeah. So how you feeling, man? How you feeling about this team, man?
Here's my thing about this team. I feel like we were promised a bag of goods, and I'm opening up to rocks. All right. I thought this offense was gonna be zooming and flying, and to a degree it is, but it's not putting up the points that we want. Nowhere near.
I feel it. I mean, I think I'm with you on that. Look.
Hey, you want to hear what my real frustration is? Hold on, real quick.
Go ahead.
Right?
Go ahead.
I just want to put this together, right? We like context. So,
yep.
I looked at the 49ers offense, right? And then you look at the Rams offense. You can even look at the old Atlanta offense. Those offenses were putting up points right away. There was no build-up time for them. They took off and running.
So as soon as they got a new coach.
No, I'm saying that with the Shanahan, because so our offense I feel like would be a very McDaniel's variation of that 49ers offense, that Shanahan offense, right? In the same way you see, in the way that you see that is with the Rams. The Rams is a variation of that same Shanahan tree offense.
Okay.
Right. So I just expected us to be able to put up points with like those offenses, especially with the weapons that we have. It's not like we don't have the weapons to fit. If anything, our weapons that we have are, you could say, the premier version that you should have for that offense. And I understand why it's not clicking. It doesn't make sense to me.
And I'm with you. And I think when we look at Shanahan and what he's done at San Francisco, I think this is important to consider, right? When you go back and look at Shanahan start with the 49ers as a head coach, he goes 6-10 in his first year, right? So he goes 6-10 in his first year, and then in his second year he goes 4-12, right? So he goes 4-12 his second year. In his third year, he goes 13-3.
Okay.
His fourth year, he's 6-10, and then in his next year after that, he's 10-7, and right now he's 3-4. So I think when you look at his first couple years, I think it takes a little bit of time, and I'm not saying it should take Mike McDaniel's that amount of time, but I'm saying it's going to take a little bit of time for those guys to mesh and get into a groove within this offense. And I understand that Shanahan didn't have the type of weapons that we have. I understand that. But I think even with the weapons, you still have to give it some time to kind of to get itself into a rhythm. Because I feel like offenses are always behind.
You got to understand the situation that these two coaches going into. You can say Shanahan started further behind that because that team, he had to build it to a degree, right?
Right.
McDaniel, you only got to build one side of the ball, Playboy. we pretty much re-signed everything on defense. There was no, you don't have to touch that side. You said we're giving it to Boyer and it's running, and you just have one side of the ball to build. Okay, so we're gonna pump all the money into that side of the ball. And when we signed Tyreek, and we imagine, hey, you have Tyreek, you have Waddle, you have Gesicki in the middle.
In a perfect world, right? Yeah.
On paper, this offense should not be producing this amount of points. The yardage part, we understand. That makes sense.
So you think the yardage is understandable. So how we're producing offensively yard wise makes sense. But you're saying we should be scoring more points.
So the yardage expectations have been met. I'll give them that.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to argue that two of our receivers are in the top 5. You can't argue that. That's a stupid argument to make. I'm not even going to go down that path. But
so you're saying our receivers, 2 receivers in the top 5 is production. You're saying that's a bad, that you can't argue.
No, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yardage wise, that's a good thing. Catches in yards, you got Waddle and Tyreek at the top. And people glorify that, but at the end of the day, I look at it and say, where do they rank touchdown wise?
And I understand that. I want them to score too, and that's an important aspect of any offense, is being able to put the ball in the end zone. I just think with what we've seen so far, I think if they were scoring touchdowns and they weren't moving the football, I would be really concerned. Like if
CB, I have a question for you.
I'm
gonna let you lay. After this, I have a question for you, brother. After you get your point.
Yeah. So I'm saying if they were scoring touchdowns and they were barely moving the ball and they had really low offensive production, I think I'd be more worried, because I think
that could be the defense performing though and giving them short fields.
That could be. But what I'm saying also is even if the defense is performing, they're not going to get 3 to 4 turnovers a game where you're just having constantly shortened fields. You're still going to have to move the ball at least 80 yards sometimes and have long drives.
Exactly.
Right?
So if you're scoring, the yardage is there. It's going to be there regardless.
Right.
And I think we're getting into the red zone and we're not converting for some weird reason.
And it's weird because really Tua has been really efficient in the red zone prior to this season, right?
Correct.
It's really weird to me that he gets into the red zone now and we struggle, but before it was like he had no issues operating in the red zone, right?
But the fact that he's one of the highest rated quarterbacks in the red zone. I'll give him that.
He was. And it's what bothers me about the offense, or what doesn't bother me about the offense, is that they're moving the ball. Like, I've never seen a Dolphins team in the past 5 years like convert so much on third down, and go for it on fourth down and make plays. Like, I've never really seen that from a Dolphins team, and this is what I'm seeing from this team this year. Even though they aren't scoring the football, they're pretty efficient to the point where they're moving the ball and they're not hanging the defense out to dry. Like, the defense isn't on the field the whole game, being tired, being worn out. They seem pretty fresh and they're able to make plays as a result of them being pretty fresh. That's what I think. I mean, how do you feel about that?
No, I'll give that. I'll give that all day, that there's not as many 3 and outs as we had prior years, where the defense would just literally, and I think the only time the defense was astronomically on the field way too much was the Buffalo game. And that was just Buffalo wearing us down into the ground. So and they couldn't get off the field. So I think that's the only time I've ever seen it so lopsided.
And I can respect it. I mean, Vonjo, I usually rock with most of your takes anyways. I mean, you're a Wolfpack member, and I know you to be a very staunch representative of the Wolfpack. But I do rock with a lot of what you say, man. But there's some stuff like I understand y'all want to get a reaction out of people when y'all say, hey, Mike McDaniel is supposed to be this guru. He's supposed to be this offense guru. We should be scoring points. I get it. I mean, I think
hold on.
We're gonna. We're gonna score points. It's gonna. I mean, we score points in a couple games. I think the Baltimore game we score points because we needed to. We had to.
Only that. It's not only points though. When I got upset with Mike McDaniel, because understand we had a run game coordinator. A run game guru is what he was advertised to us. And for the love of me, I didn't understand why we abandoned the run, even in the Pittsburgh game. We abandoned the run in the game before that. Mostert was like 14 carries and 50 something yards. Why would you stop running the ball?
I think there's a really fine line too. And this is when you talk about running the ball versus passing the ball, and you talk about an offensive coordinator calling the plays, right?
A run game coordinator, ex-run game coordinator.
Right. So look, an ex-run game coordinator. When you talk about a guy like this calling the plays, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a very fine line between running too much and passing too much. Right? I mean, there's going to be there's going to be a very fine line. So when you play a game like Pittsburgh and you're running the ball well, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you feel like, hey, we're running the ball well, they're going to stack the box and I need to throw it a little bit. Like that's when I'm sure that's what he's thinking. Like it's a chess move. Like, hey, you're going to add more guys to the box. I'm going to try to throw the ball a little bit to open it up. And then I'll go back to running the ball once you feel like you're stopping the pass again.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I get that, but I have a question.
And
Do you believe
before you answer this question, I'm gonna bring a couple guys on because I got a couple guys.
All right, go ahead.
So I'm gonna bring on Shake, I'm gonna bring on Thomas, and I'm gonna bring on Big Philly. What's good with y'all boys?
Gentlemen.
Yo.
What's good, man? Y'all good? Y'all good? It's a good night.
Oh, I'm wonderful. How you doing?
What's up?
Here.
Hey, Shake, what's going on with you, man? How you doing, man?
I know my brother Shake is on that wine also, baby.
Oh, see? Shake did real quick. Thomas, what's up with you, man?
How you doing, CB? You doing good today?
Doing good, man. I'm glad I got you up here, man. I'm glad where you at, man? Hey. You look like you chilling, relaxing, and the lazy boy feeling good.
Oh yeah, I'm always chilling. I've been waiting.
What's going on, fellas? Hey, what's going on, fellas? Hey, man.
In the red, what's his name?
It's Von Joe. That's Von Joe. Wolfpack number 1.
John Vogt. All right.
Who? John Vogt? No, Von Joe.
Von Joe.
My bad.
You got a question for Von Joe?
Well, I was listening to you two speak, and the only thing I was saying is thinking of was, Tua right now, last week, he was rusty. He was bad, but he was rusty. And when you're talking about the run game, there's two types of run games. There's the outside quick pitch. There's the fast guy like Mostert. And then you got Tennessee Titans, best running back in the league, who can run down your throat no matter what you do. We don't have
Derrick Henry got his neck broke against the Giants.
Yeah, he did. And that happens sometimes, but we don't have a Derrick Henry. So
agree.
When you're trying to decide whether to run or throw the ball on a third and short, you're looking at Mostert, and then you're looking at Tua. Going, what do I want to do? If I had Henry, I'm going to run that ball. But if I have Mostert and I get caught, I'm going to lose 5 yards. So,
But this is where I disagree, Thomas, and I have to give Thomas.
I like the running game.
But Thomas, I have to give you pushback on that because if you go back and watch that game, that run to the left side behind Armstead, we ran that play over and over again, and they just couldn't stop it. Armstead was moving his person, and Mostert was explosive enough to get through that hole and get 7, 8, 4, 7, 8, and we just stopped.
Yeah, and I think and go ahead, Thomas. Go ahead.
Well, you also have to think that Armstead just came back from an injury, and if you keep pushing that side, he might not have been 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to consider the coach's options are going. How often do I want to put him in danger?
If he's out there, he's on danger. It's in danger once he's out there.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I think
there's no holds bar after that.
Yeah, I think there's a like I said, I think there's a fine line between running and passing, man, and running too much and passing too much is a fine line. If the offensive coordinator thinks his run game's on fire and he's running the ball, there's going to be guys like, oh, why just pass the damn ball? Like, why? There's always going to be guys like that. And that's no matter what the situation is. And but see, that's what I respect, though, because I understand it's going to be that. If the dude is, if Tua's on fire, if Tua's on fire and he's throwing the shit out of the ball, there's going to be guys, as soon as he misses on a couple throws, they're gonna be like, why don't you run the damn ball? What, bro? Because he's hot, he's on fire. Like, that's why, bro. Of course you want to mix it up, and that's what I'm sure McDaniels is trying to do. He's trying not to let guys get a beat on what he's doing, right? And that's the chess game, and that's a lot of, and you got to understand too, guys, Mike McDaniels isn't the only one watching the game. There's a bunch of assistant coaches in the booth communicating with him, looking at what he's seeing and trying to determine, hey, what should we do next? So I'm sure he's getting a lot of input from his assistant coaches about how defenses are playing him, about how they're stacking the box. So I think there's a lot that goes into it. I know people want to say, oh, you need to run more, oh, you need to pass more. Fine line, Vonjo. It's a fine line no matter how you cut it.
I get it. I'll give you that. But check this out. And since we have a panel, we can ask the panel.
Yeah. Well,
do you believe that we have seen the full playbook, or at least?
All right, here we go.
And when it comes to the full playbook, I mean, I'm not talking about the little gadget plays. I'm talking about as far as our playbook and the base and what it is. Have we seen the full playbook?
All right, I'm gonna start with Big Philly, then I'm gonna go to Shake, and then I'm gonna go to Thomas, and then I'm gonna go to me as last. But Big Philly, you first.
I don't think we have. And the reason being is a lot of it probably doesn't work with the current offense that we have, at least with the line that we have. The line is getting better. The line is getting better, but it still needs a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, like, that's just my opinion, because a lot of it, requires time in the pocket for the play to develop, and that's why I think that we just see a lot of stuff that Tua is good at, which is that RPO game.
Okay. All right. I respect that. Shake, what do you think?
I think there's no such thing. I think being that Tua is his quarterback, I think they're doing a playbook specifically for the talent they have. So they don't have a playbook. I think it's being constructed. Maybe in a year or two, if they have similar players, then you'll see a full playbook. But I think right now, I think it's the playbook is being worked on as we speak.
So you think it's an ever-changing document, and you think, in 1 or 2 years it could be solidified as a result of Tua being comfortable with plays and having the system of players that you have in place that's kind of being consistent at that point.
Correct.
All right, that's solid.
I get where you're coming from, Shake.
I like that. I really like that.
I actually like that. Man. Exactly. I actually like that concept of that he said that it's a new quarterback, new coach, and new. I like it, Shake. Good. I dig
it's a very, very valid point, because at this point, I mean, Mike McDaniels really doesn't know what works and what doesn't work until he tries it, right? So I'm sure he's running plays throughout the game that he's probably trashing and then coming back the next week with more plays to add into it. Hey, what can we do better? What do I need to get rid of? What can I add as a wrinkle? So I think that's important. Thomas, what do you think? Have we seen the playbook yet?
First of all, I don't know if you know I did this. No, of course we hadn't seen the whole playbook, but we don't need the whole playbook. We have Tyreekhill and Jalen Waddle. That's all you need to know, because we don't need trick plays. All we need is for the defense to go, oh, shit, don't let these guys get behind us. And then we have a sneak play from Gesicki or Morstead or the third wide receiver in the middle of the field while the other two are running down the field.
Thomas, that's what they've been doing to us. That's the thing, Thomas. That's what they've been doing to us, and that's why we haven't scored.
Yeah, the last 3 games, or no, I'm sorry, the 3 games we lost
since Baltimore. No, but since Baltimore, if you notice that teams have switched up how they played us. They sat there and just said, okay, take underneath. The red zone, there's no over the top when you get in the red zone. That's our issue. That's all we have in score.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a big part of it. If teams are gonna sit on top of you and basically not let you beat them deep, you're gonna have to take the underneath stuff, and that's what. And I'm really glad we have Tua at quarterback. Right.
And look at the catch with Sheffield.
But the thing is,
that was dropped right where nobody could catch it in the middle of the field in that game. They took away the long ball, and he
Go ahead,
Thomas. That's the thing, Thomas. They're giving us from if we start at the 25, they said you can have that whole middle of the field, and when you get to our 25, where we don't have to worry about deep anymore, and we could just crash everything. All right, whoop us then. And
actually, you're right. You're right. You are absolutely right. Nobody brought this up. Our red zone is terrible because nobody can get open in the red zone because they don't have to drop back.
But see, I think there's a lot to that too. Honestly, I would like to see more like 5 wide in the red zone. Like just put a bunch of receivers in the game and have them run to spots and get the underneath route. Because what I see right now is a lot of like 3 receiver, 2 wide receiver sets. And it's like, hey, if they sit on those 2 guys, then we're going to struggle. We don't have Gesicki's not running the fade route anymore and catching the fade ball. So, I mean, I think we got to figure out a way to get Gesicki more involved in the red zone and get Cedric Wilson in the slot in the red zone. Like we got to figure out a way to get some of these other guys involved in the red zone game so we're better off, man.
I want to say something about the red zone game. I think one of the reasons why Tua had more success in the red zone is in previous years he had more big body receivers like DVP, Isaiah Ford, Preston Williams, those type of big cats that were 50-50 guys. So when you got closer, you were able to throw them up a little bit more versus Waddle and Hill. They're more in the space guys.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with him right there.
They don't use the guys that we do.
We can't trade Gesicki. We need Gesicki in the red zone. He's absolutely right. Gesicki is like a big target. We do need another big target.
Yeah, and I mean Cedric Wilson is a pretty big target, and I wanted him to get more involved. Like we got to use him for the money we're paying him, bro. Like
that's a waste. That's a waste of money. If you got bad at Baker, you need to get bad at Cedric.
Yeah, I mean, he's just the production hasn't been there, and I mean, offensively, Waddle and Tyreek are doing their thing, but I want to see Cedric Wilson get involved. I want to see Gesicki get more because Gesicki's been quiet too. I mean, we can talk all we want to about Cedric Wilson, but Gesicki's been just as quiet outside of maybe one game where he kind of played well.
He gave us one game. He gave us one game when he made some noise.
But let me ask you all this.
Well, hold on, Thomas. I'm about to go.
Go ahead.
CB, I'm sorry. I can't stay on longer, bro.
No.
But, I end up working today, so, the wife is demanding time. Because I actually work Monday to Friday today.
I understand.
So, you know how it
bro.
is. But, man, I truly appreciate y'all. But let me leave y'all with this. I feel like if any big move is going to be made, trade-wise, and I'm gonna blow up the comments right now, is trading Wilkins. That's the only trade move to look for. All right, I'll leave y'all with that.
Okay. Ooh, that's a big one.
Hold on.
That's a big one.
I'll be the first to answer that.
I just want to say something real quick because I when you introduced me, I just wanted to toast to you, CB, being that you on the bourbon kick. I'm opening this American honey, baby. I got my bourbon too. I got a little sweet tooth today.
There we go.
Enjoy it.
Hey, cheers, brother. Cheers.
Bro. All
right. I'm gonna say it like this: if you're gonna trade Wilkins, we better get a top 10 O lineman. That's the only way.
Yeah, we would need
another O lineman.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see another O lineman come in. Whether it's honestly, I think Teron Armstead is a lock, Hunt's a lock, Williams is a lock. I need to see somebody replace
Jackson is still questionable.
Yeah. And we got Shell. I like the way he's playing right now. He's a big dude. I'd rather see him play than see Austin Jackson play.
But Wilkins, how could he sell Wilkins? What? Wilkins?
And that's a tough call, man. But I mean, when you look at
I'm
the Wilkins
scratching my head
situation,
like Wilkins.
you're gonna have to pay him. You're gonna have to pay him.
Not this year. We're talking about this year.
Yeah, next year. But next year, I don't think Williams. I don't think Wilkins is a target, but because I think he's just too much of a leader on this team. I think he had too many practices where he got the orange jersey in training camp. I think he's just too much of an instrumental piece in the locker room for us to trade him.
I hate to do this to Wilkins, but he deserves his money. But he is a DB, so I hate to do this. We just have to put him on the trade block, or not the trade block, but the
the franchise tag.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, okay, all right. So you put him on the franchise tag.
He's not even on the trade on the franchise tag. DBs don't make that much, so
no. Are you talking about Wilkins?
Yeah, Christian Wilkins.
Christian Wilkins he's a defensive tackle.
Yeah,
I think you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he meant defensive tackle. He's not a DB though. He's a defensive tackle, but he's one of the big guys in the middle, man. So I mean, you could franchise tag him. He still make a lot of money on that tag. I mean,
I think they'll pay him. They're gonna pay him.
Yeah, they're gonna pay him. I would pay him.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, from Detroit, what are you guys looking like? What are the keys to victory in this game? And it's Detroit. Honestly,
control the run. They run 150. They average 154 yards rushing per game.
Yeah, that's a weak spot.
Yeah.
So stopping the run is going to be crucial.
Stopping the run is going to be crucial. If they don't run, you're going to force Jared Goff to pass. He averages 250 yards a game passing. They're the ninth team with the most yardage. They average almost 400 yards a game.
So they moved the ball on offense, man.
They moved the ball. The issue is their defense. Their defense is ranked 32nd in yardage against. They're giving up. They're 32nd. They're last in the league. They give up almost 400 yards. In total offense.
I feel you, man. Hey, Vlad, what's up, man? Just saying what's up to the people in the chat. Vlad, Earl, McGoat, I see you. We got Shaq Phins in there. Evan Wright, or that's Earl Wright. Yeah, we got a little bit of everybody in there, man. Shout out to you guys. Hey, make sure you hit the like, subscribe. Hey, I'm 2 subscribers away from 500. I'm almost there, man. I appreciate the love I've gotten so far, man. Love you guys. Love the Phins community, man. Love the Phins community. I'm actually gonna drop the link again to see if you guys want to come up. But
by the way, one of my keys to victory is Flores proved it a couple of years ago when he was on the Rams. You got to confuse him. I think he's one of those. This defense, Boyer. You know what I'm saying? Be like those. Like for instance, which have him guessing which guys are going back and which guys are blitzing. Confuse him.
Yeah. Mixing it up.
Yeah.
Not to mention,
it's disguising.
Yeah.
Not to mention, we are the most hurt defense right now. Like,
man,
we have so many guys on the injury list on the defensive side. Like, we've got.
We're banged up for sure. I mean, Brandon Jones going out. We're getting some guys. We're getting some guys back finally. Cater
It's just three. It's just three guys. Yeah, it's just three guys. Three main guys that are out.
Yeah, but are we getting Byron back yet? No.
No word yet.
Exactly. I mean, Cater Cove.
Yeah, but we got two. We got 2 DBs coming. We actually got 3 DBs coming back. So
if Cater Cove stays healthy, that's the rookie of the year.
Bro, he's been solid. I don't know about rookie of the year, but he's been a really good piece. He's been a really good piece.
And then Ignabia or
Ignabia.
No Igbenogany.
No, just say Noah. Just say Noah.
Yeah, hey, listen. Here's the best
way.
way.
Said I could say Tonga Valoa all day long, but god dang.
Let me teach you how to say it. Say mahogany. The color mahogany. Noah Igbenogany. It rhymes with mahogany. So Noah Igbenogany.
Igbenogany, mahogany. All right. That's a little tongue twister. So yeah, Big Philly gave me the key to victory. He said stopping the run. What do you think, Shake? You're on mute right now. What do you think about can you hear me? What's your keys to victory, Shake? There you go.
My keys? Yeah, like I said, confusing number one, confusing Jared Goff because he's shown that he could be confused. And on offense, I would say I don't know, I would say pass. Let Tua start working on Tyreek Hill and Waddle. Let them cook, man. Let your best guys get their ball. You know what I mean?
That's a good one too. I mean, I think these games like these are the perfect opportunities for you to work on your shit, right? So, like when you're playing a really competitive team and they're good and they do a lot of stuff well, it's really hard for you to just be just go out there and let it fly. But I think, in a game like this where their secondary isn't very good, you could probably run the ball on them. This is the perfect opportunity to try to let your guys get off. Try to just let it loose, let them go out there and play, and let it all hang out, man. I think these next 3 or 4 games are going to be crucial in regards to where we finish the season. If we could get it going at this point and start playing good football offensively, defensively, and even in special teams, because special teams have been very suspect. And what I'm most disappointed about in special teams is just the lack of dog in the special teams. Like, guys really aren't willing to stick their nose in there and make plays and smack dudes on like kick returns and punt returns. It's just like, bro, we got to find a way to be more physical in every phase, whether it's defense, offense, special teams. We just got to find a way to be more physical. I feel like we're a little bit too much of a finesse team right now. And I think that's the kind of reputation we're getting around the league. And I feel like when teams feel like they could bully you around, you get into the games like the Pittsburgh game where it's a dogfight, even though you're a much more talented team, right? You're a much more talented team on paper, but it's like these dudes are physical, these dudes are strong, they're hitting hard. So now I'm a little bit reluctant to do what I usually do. So we got to find a way to kind of get that physicality, be more physical up front in the trenches, and what I don't like about what I've been seeing lately is the penalties, right? So the penalties, I've seen a lot of holding penalties on offense, right? Guys really trying to block their ass off and do what's best for the team, right? So when you get all these penalties and the refs throwing all these flags, it's like it tells them, hey, I can't do that. I can't be as physical as I once was. I got to let go of guys. So it's really hard. Now, I played offensive line in college. I played offensive line in high school. I coached offensive line. Guys are holding every single play. It's a given. There is a holding call. You can call holding on every play. Now, if you're calling it every play, then you're being nitpicky. And that's what I see in some of the Dolphins games, just the refs kind of just attacking us like, oh, you're holding. And I'm sure, the refs are seeing the film of us holding on the outside and, in games. And that's Mike McDaniel really puts an emphasis on blocking, like at the receiver level. So it's going to be a give and take thing, but I want our guys to still be physical, play loose, and not worry about the penalties, because the penalties, they're going to come, but just play football, man. Play football and try to let it all hang out for your teammates. And that's what I think they've been trying to do.
And I noticed those holding calls come in with them when we're in the line.
Shake, I'm going to go to you, and then I'm going to go to Thomas. Go ahead, Shake.
Yeah, I noticed those holding calls come up when we're in the goal line. But anyway, let me throw this little quick scenario at you. See, the run, and I know this, and I personally know that a win is a win, and there's no such things as style points in the NFL. That's college, where you need to beat your opponent by a certain amount to get position. But anyway, what be kind of frustrating is that fact that You have Zappy, a 4th-round draft pick, with Matt Patricia. The offense is new, you know what I mean? Devontae Parker, the best receiver, and they were able to put up at least 23 points. So now some of the Dolphin fans are like, well, I hope at least Tua could suppress that a little bit if Zappy, with the scenario that he has, was able to do what he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I think a lot of times as fans, we try to compare, teams, right? And compare the teams to the games that they played, like comparing Dallas to playing Detroit last week. So Dallas plays Detroit, they win by 20 points or so. If we're a good football team, people are going to say, hey, if the Dolphins are so good, they should be beating Detroit by 22. I mean, that's what people are going to do. People are going to compare. I look at every game as it being a different situation. Injuries happen within games. There's a lot that goes on. So there's a lot there, but I'm never going to compare. I'd like to see our team go out there and put points on Detroit this weekend, like no other. Like I want to see them blow them out. I want it to be a 40-10 type of game, right? That's the type of offense explosion I want to see. Now, will I get mad if they score 20 points or they score 25? Or no, I don't think I'm going to be upset. And if we win the game, I would just rather them be more explosive. And I'm not. I understand that there's going to be other things that happen. There could be a lot that goes on. So I just feel like every game's different, man. Every game's different. Every situation is different. So it's hard to kind of compare when you're looking at the NFL, man, from week to week, because there's a lot of changes, a lot of upsets too. When we look at the NFL and we look at, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Who was that, Big Philly?
No, it was something in my.
Okay, yeah, no, you good. Did you have something else you wanted to say?
No, that's it. That's pretty much the question I had, the little scenario I had for you.
Yeah. Sorry about that. You're good. I usually don't compare, man. I just kind of look at the situation as it is. But there's going to be games where Tua's going to have another 5-touchdown game this season. I know people probably won't believe that, but I think he'll have a couple more 4 or 5 touchdown games where he just explodes. I think that's going to happen.
But one thing I could say though is, and I just thought of it, it's like, all right, you brought up Dallas, and of course, you had Mike McCarthy, who in himself is a good offensive coach. But the reason I bring up the New England Patriots is because Matt Patricia isn't this offensive genius. He was defensive coordinator, and yet he was able to get his offense efficiently. So it's not just I'm not trying to knock to him. I'm just saying the offensive play calling. So if you got a coach like Matt Patricia calling plays, and he's able to make his offense efficiency, and then you got a offensive genius. They labeled him unfairly, in my opinion. He can't run a better offense. You know what I mean?
And I see what you're saying. So you're saying like, hey, Mike McDaniel is supposed to be an offensive guru, right? And Matt Patricia is honestly, he was a defensive coach before. He wasn't even an offensive coach, but now he's calling offensive plays and he's scoring points. What I want you to understand is it's one game, right? That's one game where he scored some points. I think there's going to be plenty of games where Mike McDaniels puts up more than 20 points. I think he's also a first-year head coach, so I think that's a lot to do with him experimenting on offense, him trying to figure it out, right? Him trying to figure it out now. And I think it could be difficult, man. I think when you're calling plays, it's just a difficult thing to do. And as an offensive coach, I just understand that when you're calling plays, it could be a very difficult task in some games. In some games, it just flows. But in other games, it's like, damn, this shit is not working. Whatever I'm calling, everything I'm calling isn't working. And I think that's how it is some games. But it's about the adjustments you make too. Like is Mike McDaniel's a good adjuster? Like, what do you guys think about that? This is a good question to ask the panel. And I'm gonna start with Big Philly on this because I haven't heard from you in a while. Is he a good in-game adjuster so far? What do you think about that?
No, and the reason being is because of what happened in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Obviously so.
So you're looking at so you're saying one game determines
Not necessarily, but just in the past, with the last couple games, I've noticed that there's not really a big adjustment on offense. And again, you've seen that against Pittsburgh. You really saw that against Pittsburgh, where obviously Pittsburgh's defense adjusted after that first drive, and they kind of went stagnant afterwards.
Right.
So it can't be all just on that Tua's shaking. Like Tua's shaking off some dust. It also has to be, what was McDaniel's doing to help ramp up that offense? You get what I'm saying? Like to combat that defense, and they weren't really doing much. So that's just again, that's why I say, we've had coaches in the past where that second half they make adjustments. And it's a completely different team. When we're a second half team, but you don't see that as much now.
Right, and that's a good point. So I'm just gonna play devil's advocate here.
Of course.
So you said the Pittsburgh game, they didn't make adjustments, and they struggled. Now, what about the Baltimore game? How do you so?
Well, I think that I think they stuck to what they had, and Baltimore's defense just gave up, and that's what ultimately what has been happening in Baltimore over the past couple of weeks, where they can't close games out. That's on Baltimore.
Okay. So
I'd like to interject here.
All right. So real quick, I'm gonna just go ahead and kind of reemphasize what he said. He said, Pittsburgh game they struggled. He didn't make the adjustments. Baltimore game, he kind of stuck with what he was doing, and he just kind of. And the Ravens kind of gave the game to us as opposed to us taking the game away from them.
Well, yeah, I mean, they look at the play calling. It's the same. They weren't. It's not like we weren't successful in the first half. It's just a couple things happened that, obviously a couple turnovers and all this other good stuff that happened during that game. But that second half, I mean, most of the play they were just stretched the field, which is what they've been doing. And they were just
they've been trying to do. Yeah,
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So he stuck to his game plan. Which at the same time you got to admire it because he stuck to his game plan. A lot of coaches will abandon the game plan and go off script. But
see, I kind of disagree with that because I feel like the first half he was doing the underneath stuff, and then the second half he kind of stretched it out and just kind of aired it out at that point. But Thomas, go ahead. Thomas, go ahead and tell me what you were going to say about that.
All right, with the Baltimore Ravens, and we've seen it, 3 losses and barely getting away with a win against Tampa Bay. There's no I in team, and that's all they have is one man in Lamar Jackson. They have nobody else.
Now, if Lamar isn't,
no, I got to interject.
Now,
they got some.
Hold up. Now, here we go. If Lamar isn't playing good football, are the Baltimore Ravens winning, Big Philly?
I mean, well, it depends on how the defense.
Bro, they not. No, it doesn't matter how bro. It don't matter. What I'm saying is, if Lamar isn't playing good football,
okay. So let
me
ask you a question. So Lamar didn't play good football against Miami.
No.
Not in the second half. Not in the second half.
No, the whole game. The first half he was perfect, dude. No. Wait. Let me speak up on this. Let me speak on this.
Go ahead, Thomas.
3 plays went for touchdowns in that Baltimore game. A kick return for a touchdown, a run for a touchdown, and a throw for a touchdown.
From him. The long run from him, right?
If you take away 3 plays from Baltimore in that game, and you take away the best 3 plays from the Dolphins in that game, we still win.
You're right. I can't debate that, but players are in the game to make plays, so I can't
exactly.
Say...
But are you saying Lamar Jackson I'm sorry, are you saying the Baltimore Ravens as a whole is better than the Dolphins right now? Even
I'm not
even
saying.
after
I'm not
7
saying
weeks.
that. No. I'm not saying that. We just beat them. I
Big
mean,
Philly, are you saying that? Is
Big
anybody
Philly?
saying that?
I don't know what Big Philly think, but I don't think they're a better team than us. I think you're only as good as your last game, and we beat them. So
Yo,
it
can y'all
is
hear
what it
me?
is. Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you
I hear
now.
you.
Yeah. All right. Lamar Jackson against Miami went 21 for 29, 318, 3 TDs, no INTs.
Oh, you cut out again. You cut out again, Big Philly. Hey,
All
but
right, you
Lamar,
there? All right.
yeah. So
It's
he
because
had a good.
I'm switching back and forth, bro. I'm switching back and forth as I'm reading the statistics. But anyways, he had a good game, bro. The dude didn't throw no interceptions.
No, but
3
when you look at it,
TDs.
when you look at his first half production compared to his second half,
Yeah, because
it's
Miami on
not.
defense made their adjustments, bro, and that's all it was.
It's night and day though. I mean, he played a good half of football. He wasn't good in the second half, and that's why
Right,
they didn't win the
but that's
game. Bro, they
because
couldn't score points.
right, but that's because they took advantage of turnovers and other things that happened. But again, he still played his game. They were up big, and their defense is what cost them that game. Lamar did
No,
not
you
cost them
can't
that game.
say that, Big Philly.
That's
You
the thing.
How?
cannot.
That's the
You
thing
They
about
gave
cannot
up
say that,
21
dude.
points in the fourth
You
quarter.
still gotta
that's the thing.
score
Hey,
points.
CB, let me say this. That's the thing about Tua. Tua don't need to be the top 3 quarterback. He don't need to be the top 5 quarterback. He don't need to be the top 10 quarterback. If he's a top 15 quarterback in this league right now with the team that we have, we can go to Super Bowl.
I don't know about Super Bowl, but we could go to the
No,
playoffs.
I'm
If
saying it right now. When
now
we
if
get healthy, especially on defense, when we get healthy, he don't have to be top 5.
I don't think he needs to be top 5 for us to win games, but if he's top 5, we're Super Bowl worthy. That's what I think. If he's top 5,
I think
we're
top
Super Bowl
10.
worthy.
I think top 10.
You just said top 15. So you gotta so you said top 15. I think if we're top 10, if he's top 10, we could be in the AFC championship. I think if he's top 5, we're talking Super Bowl.
Top 15, we can go to the Super Bowl. Top 10, we win it.
That's a good. I mean, that's a good conversation to have. But
hey,
I
look at Peyton Manning's brother. That's all you need to know.
Eli, yeah.
Was Eli ever a top 15 quarterback?
At times he was. Those
times.
those years where those years where he won the Super Bowl, he was top 15. Now he wasn't top 10, I mean, he might have been top 10. I know for sure he probably wasn't top 5 in efficiency and anything. But he got good teams around him. He had great defenses too. So
and that's what and CB, I love you. And I'm sure
look, I'm a little bit more reluctant on our defense than most people are. I don't think I like our defense. I do. I don't think we have a bad defense. I just don't think our defense, I'm not going to hang my hat on the defense and say the defense alone can win us a Super Bowl. They're good, but they're not Ravens, Ray Lewis Ravens, Ed Reed Ravens good. They're not that good.
Hold on.
They're not that good to where we could have lackluster offense and still win a Super Bowl.
No, you're right. But
they're not that good.
Very, very injured right now.
I understand, but that's
still won.
But it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has no offense. It would be different if that was a Big Ben Pittsburgh team with but
they do have good defense too. I mean, that just goes to show you what happens when you got 2 good defenses.
They got a solid defense, but what I'm saying is that Pittsburgh team is not the Pittsburgh team of old that we're used to seeing. Like we're used to scrapping with. Like that's not the Le'Veon Bells. That's not ABs. That's not those guys. So I respect that Pittsburgh defense. That Pittsburgh offense with a Kenny Pickett. That's not it. That's not a good offense. If they had any resemblance of what they used to be on offense, that would have been a game we lost.
All right, let me ask you this then, CB. Outside of our own division, outside of our own division, Jets, Patriots, Bills,
Yep.
what loss would hurt the most out of all the other games we got to play next? Because based off of our division and based off what's left in our schedule, if we want
what loss would hurt the most?
Yeah,
any
outside
of the next four. Any of the next four.
I mean, that's a good question. I think the next four you got to win. I think the Bears' loss would be bad for us. I think
Bears just beat the shit.
Because they ran the ball.
I know. So this is my thing too. I can understand us being Detroit. If we lose to the Bears, that's going to be a bad loss for me. I can understand us struggling with the Browns a little bit. That should be a game we win. Texans, there's no excuse for a loss there. San Francisco, I like us versus San Francisco. I like us versus the Chargers. I understand that that's a back-to-back West Coast. We could easily lose one of those. Yeah. I mean, it could be a toss-up. We could go 1-1 out there. Then we come back to play the Bills at the Bills.
Yeah,
then we got the Packers. I said
outside the division because
it's tough. I mean, our schedule isn't very I don't think our schedule is tough for the rest of the season. I think it's average. It's like half and half, like some good, some bad. I don't think anybody on our schedule is like leaps and bounds better than us, though.
This is the way I see it. And, Big Philly, Shake, CB, we should only lose one more game this year.
One more. Which game is that? Buffalo?
Buffalo.
I agree.
Buffalo in their home in the cold, that's going to be a loss. If you look down the schedule, we should win every game. Should, on paper.
Honestly, look, this is why I don't want to. I really am calling a win in Buffalo. But the only reason I'm on the fence about calling a win in the Buffalo game, because if we win in Buffalo,
it's over. We win the division.
No. I get right. So we might win the division, but we're still gonna have to see them again in the playoffs at some point. And it is gonna be very hard to beat them a third time.
Wait, CB.
Wherever you play them. Wherever you play them, it's
playing them at home.
Them.
If we beat Buffalo twice this season, they playing us in Miami.
Which could be the case. That could be the case, but it's very hard to beat a team 3 times in one season.
Yeah,
it's just
I'm gonna give you the perfect
difficult
example.
to do.
When Tampa won the Super Bowl, they lost to New Orleans twice convincingly, and they had to play in New Orleans. And guess what? Tampa beat them. San Francisco beat the Rams twice.
Yep.
And last year they beat them in the playoffs and went to the Super Bowl. So, like you said, 3 times isn't always the charm.
It's difficult, man. It's difficult to beat a team 3 times. But honestly, I think we're the type of team that could beat Buffalo in the cold too. This is why I say this is why I say we could beat Buffalo in the cold. Because we got a guy, and his name is Tyreekhill, who can change the dynamic of any football game.
This is true.
And people don't understand that. They haven't seen the Tyreekhill effect yet because it hasn't really come to fruition for the Miami Dolphins yet. But he's the type of player that you could put in any game, and if he gets the football in his hands, he could change the dynamic of a football game. And that's why you spend $30 million on a guy like that. Because you know that there might be 1 or 2 games that he could win you the game by himself.
I think the most important aspect is getting our defense healthy. If our defense is 100%, nobody's going to win against us.
Yeah, I mean, I like our defense being healthy, man. I mean, and I think it's only making us better right now with these young guys getting reps and them getting the opportunity to play, because late in the season we might need some of these guys, right? If one of these veteran guys go down, we might need one of these guys to come in and make a play and step up. So I think it's kind of setting us up for being successful later in the season when we get guys back, because iron sharpens iron, and we're only going to be as good as our weakest link. Whether
I just read Xavier Howard's already questionable this week.
Oh yeah. I mean, and
he's fine.
I think he's playing. He's playing though.
I would sit him if he's questionable. Sit him against the Lions.
Honestly,
sit him.
And you would think I just don't think we're there yet as a team to where we can sit guys, because they haven't shown me enough to be confident. Nobody's put together the complete. We haven't put together the complete game yet. If we go into Detroit and we win in all three phases and we dominate in all three phases, then I'll say, hey, versus the Texans, sit some guys or do that. But we haven't put together the complete game yet, so I can't give guys days off until they do that.
Yeah, but what's your biggest worry about Detroit? The run game. You don't need Howard for the run game. Sit him.
But you're going to need Howard to make a play on Jared Goff for a pick. You know,
Yeah.
You're going to need
our
him.
third string could pick off Goff. Come on,
Dude,
come on.
y'all taking
Man,
them boys too lightly,
don't underestimate him, man. You don't. It's the NFL. You can't underestimate anybody. Yeah.
You didn't listen to what I said, bro. You didn't listen to what I said in the beginning. At home, they put up over 78 points at home combined between opponent and the home team. 78 points. The boys put points up, and they put yardage up. Don't underestimate that team, bro. Don't underestimate the Detroit Lions.
You can't, bro. Don't underestimate anybody, bro. I mean, it's the NFL.
That's how you lose. That's how you lose games.
You could go get your ass beat any week.
Yes,
you better line up and play, or you gonna have a long ass flight back home or wherever you going, because that's just not how it works, man. You don't walk into nobody's stadium thinking you got that shit sewed up. It's just not.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Howard sat out 2 games that we lost. Came back last week, we won, and now he's already out again or questionable.
No, I think he's. I mean,
we need to get him healthy.
I think he's gonna be questionable. I think he's gonna have games, where he's nicked up. That's the NFL, man. Everybody at this point in the season is probably playing hurt. A lot of them are hurt, but there's a difference between being hurt and being injured, right? If you're injured, you really can't play. You shouldn't be on the field. You're not 100%. But if you're hurting, it's just, hey, I'm hurting in this area. I got to be able to push through. And I think they understand. They're professionals. They know the difference, man. I got somebody in the back, man. Let me welcome my guy on. Look at him on late night. Stephen D, what is up with you, my guy?
What's up, baby? How are you? How are you?
Doing good, man. Good to see you on a late night tip, man.
Stephen D. Hey, I didn't talk to you, bro.
What's up, man?
Oh, you got to talk to me.
Dang, what you got to talk to my dog about? Dang.
I bought the same mixer thing that does the sound effects, and I couldn't get the sound effects to work.
Oh, dope.
I was driving me nuts. And I was like, yo, I got to talk to this guy.
Honestly, the guy you want to speak to is Roach, and Roach knows all about it. And he's the one that helped me out with it.
That shit's so confusing.
Once you get the hang of it,
make that connection for him, Steven. Make that connection.
I'll do it. If you hit me up on Twitter, I'll introduce you to Roach on Twitter, and he'll help you out with it. It'll be good stuff.
Man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Honestly, man, it's funny because I just put my kids to bed. We just finished watching Hot Shots or something on Disney Plus. 10 episodes. And my wife's having a girls' weekend in Northern Virginia. So I'm by myself.
Bro, you daddy daycare, bro. You daddy daycare.
And so I turn on the phone and just started going through stuff, and I CB83 live, and I figured I would come up here and say hello and just show you my support, because you always go and stop and show support when I'm doing my morning show, and I just wanted to do the same for you, man. You're doing a great job up here.
Hey, I appreciate you, bro. Just having the fellas on, talking some Dolphins, man. It's a good night to be a Dolphin fan. We got Detroit coming up, man. I'm looking forward to it, man.
I agree. I think it'll be a good game. I'm pretty excited about it. I think we're gonna win. I think we're gonna win big. I think Tua. Y'all know how I feel about Tua. I am pro Tua. I'm a Tua-neer, and I think he's gonna have a humongous game. And I think we're gonna, go to 5-3, and we're gonna be sitting real pretty in the AFC.
Hey,
Hey,
CB.
that's a beautiful thing, man. 5-3 in the AFC, man.
Yeah.
What's going on, CBD? How you doing, my brother?
What's up, Shake Money? How are you, man?
CB, I'm gonna say
It's another
something.
beautiful day in Zamunda.
Another beautiful day.
Thomas, go ahead, man.
Steven,
what's up, my friend?
I don't know you. CB, I know you owe this man a lot, but I am tired of TD Phins talk flip-flopping on our man Tua. I am tired of him going.
Hey,
I can't stop my man TD from doing what he does. I
know we can't.
I'm
we can't
tired
do
of it, man. His flip-flopping is getting on my last fucking nerve.
I'm going to come at this from two different. I'm going to come at this from two ways, Thomas. Number one is pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Two things. Number one, not everybody is for everybody, right? Like everybody's got their own cup of tea, and I feel like there's a million different platforms that support Miami Dolphins talk. I'm sure you can find somebody that does it for you. The second thing I'll say, this is a perception thing. So I don't agree with everything as far as TD's point of view of how he analyzes a team on a week-by-week or game-by-game or even a pass-by-pass basis, right? Like, I think that's how he perceives it. He's my brother from another mother. I owe a lot to him. He's a great guy. Let me just say, behind closed doors, that man will give you the shirt off his back. He really will.
Yeah.
But aside from,
he's a real good dude.
He's a great guy. He's one of the best guys you'll ever meet. But aside from that, as far as how he goes about doing his show and his personality and everything, I personally take everything into account when I look at Tua, right? And I've been at every game this year except the Cincinnati game. And all I can go with is what I've seen, right, Thomas? And what I have seen is that when Tua's on the field, that entire team is different. The way they play is different. The way they walk is different. The way they have this swagger about them different. When he wasn't on the field,
exactly.
When he wasn't on the field with the Jets, when he wasn't, playing against Minnesota, the team just played different, offense and defense, right? And I feel in my heart of heart personally that when Tua's on the field, this team can win any game against any opponent. I really believe that. That's what I believe.
Tua never got hurt. If Tua didn't get hurt in that first game, if Tua didn't get concussed in that Bengals game, we'd be 7-0. Fuck you, Philly.
And that could be, that honestly, that could be the case.
Argue that.
It could be. I mean, we don't.
It could be.
It's hard. It's hard to argue that, but I mean, even still, we're not. And it's like, hey, Tua, when he starts and finishes a game, we've won. So, I mean, I feel confident anytime Tua's in the game that we're gonna go out there and win a game. And look at the teams we've beat so far. We've beat a really good Bills team. The best team. I consider the Bills better than the Philadelphia Eagles right now. I mean, I think they're a better football team. I think the Baltimore Ravens are one of the better teams in the AFC. I think they could go into. I think they could beat Baltimore. I think they could beat. I think they could beat a Kansas City. I think it all depends on where you are.
If I could interrupt or just interject, I apologize, CB. What I would say to you is, I think I elaborated this on my morning show. Clock Blockers, home of the #1 Miami fan morning show. Hello, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m.
Make sure you follow my guy, Stephen D. Follow. Plug that. Plug.
Only on Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. What I would say to you is the entire NFL seems to be down right now. Everybody. There's no. I've alluded to this. There is no team that is. There's two teams that you can look at in almost the entire, there's three teams in the entire NFL that you can say, you know what, they've taken over for the most part. And that is Philadelphia, who everybody knows how I feel about them. I think that they just haven't played anybody. Yeah, I don't believe that they're what their record shows.
Fool's goal. Fool's gold.
But they are undefeated, and I will give the respect that it deserves, right?
Right.
The other thing that I'll say to it is Kansas City, right? Kansas City is a great team. Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in the entire NFL, and you need to respect where respect is due. But they even lost to Buffalo. I would say Buffalo is the best team in the NFL, and we beat them. And that says something about us.
It does.
I don't care that it was I don't care that it was week 3. I don't care that it was the hottest game ever on record. And bro, let me tell you, that heat was freaking brutal that game, bro.
Bro.
But it was. But
do you care that their secondary was banged up?
No. And here's why our
secondary
secondary is banged up. Look. Here's the reality of the situation. You know, there are people on my show that said, "Oh, if the Dolphins don't beat the Detroit Lions by 24-6, then what does that say about us?" Right? Because that's what the Patriots beat the Detroit Lions by.
Yeah.
But I got to look into it and say, you know what? Reality is reality. I don't like the word excuses. I like the word reality. The reality is our secondary is messed up. Right? And if they were there, maybe it would be a different game. And that goes to your point further, Thomas. If Tua was there for those 2.5 games, maybe I don't know if we would have won, but they would have ended a lot differently. That much I do know.
We would have beat the fucking
won?
Bengals.
Maybe.
We would have beat the Bengals that week.
I thought we were gonna.
My fan.
I thought we were
my
in
heart
control.
tells me yes.
Yeah,
My football. You know, just overall football says it would have ended differently no matter what. Whether we would have won or not, it would have ended differently. So I say all that to say this. I'm saying it in a roundabout way. We have a depleted secondary. It's next man up mentality. It's what are the Dolphins going to do? Are they going to address it, you know, with practice squad players or free agency or trades? I don't know. But what I do know is I don't care that they won 16-10. They won the game.
There's one thing I want to say about the Bengals game, and I want everybody's opinion. If out of 32 quarterbacks, if all the other 31 quarterbacks got dropped to the ground like that, how many get up? Name one. Name a quarterback that gets up after that.
I don't know, man.
I don't know how many do or don't. Here's why I don't like playing.
No, I'm being serious. Name one.
Thomas, I think
I don't think it matters though.
Your comment is fair, but let me tell you why it's hard to make that statement to whether pro Tuaneers or anti Tuaneers. It's hard to make that statement because the reality of the situation is Tua does have a history of injuries. We can all admit that.
He should have got rid of the ball.
Yeah. We can also admit that Tua should have gotten rid of the ball on that play. Yeah. We all can admit that. And I think Tua would admit that.
That's where the argument starts is, what did the other quarterbacks do? It doesn't matter what I'm talking about.
Thomas, I don't like
grabbed. Every quarterback would have been knocked out.
Hold up. Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't like playing that game, Thomas, because it puts you up against another conversation similar to that, to the opposite end of the spectrum, and then you're playing and you're arguing and debating.
You're playing tit for tat, and it's pointless.
Yeah, and you just can't do it. The reality of the situation was he got hurt and he was out for 2.5 weeks. The reality is we dropped those 3 games that he did not finish or play. But when he came back,
the reality is he can't get hurt anymore like that. Like
100%.
That's
100%.
That's the reality. We can't play with hurt quarterbacks. Like we can't win that way.
I've been the first on my morning show to say, if he gets hurt again this year, I'm the first in line to raise my hand and say we need to look in another direction, because the best ability is availability. And if you can't be on the field, you can't help our franchise. But I do know that when he's playing and he's starting and finishing a game, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
I'm going to be the first to say that when he dug his head in and took that truck, I enjoyed that.
Me too.
Because it's football. It's football, and it's a warrior sport. So I know guys were like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? Slide." It's like, bro, I want him to show me that he can play football. I don't want him running around like a chicken with his head cut off, thinking, playing scared. I mean, if you're not going to be the guy, show me you're not the guy tonight, so we can move on and figure.
So
it
we
out.
can move on. And CB, here's the problem with the polarization that is Tua Tagovailoa.
And why is it so polarizing? Can we have this conversation? I don't understand. I don't understand the dynamic of it. There's no other quarterback in the NFL that gets.
There's no other fan base that's like ours, though, too, either, CB. There's no other fan base like ours.
Why is our fan base so weird, though? Why are we not fans?
I'll tell you why. Because
why are we GMs and why are we presidents of the team?
Well, I mean, I think that's fans in general, CB. But let's say this: for the first 20 years of our franchise, we were at the top of the NFL. We from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we were it. And for the last 25.
All right, so let's talk about that real quick. So we talk about us being really, really good at one point. Now, a lot of us are. Look, I'm 37 years old, right? I've been watching football since I was in my teens. I've been watching the Dolphins since the 90s, the late 90s eras like that. So we were good back then. And then there was a time where we were bad, but it's like there's a different dynamic from the generations. My dad's a huge Dolphin fan. And my dad passed that down on to me as a child. Now I'm a huge Dolphin fan. But
we cuss our fathers out every day for making us Dolphins fans. How dare you put this on me? How dare you?
And it's rough, but it's like, man, why are we at the point where we're at, Steven? Like,
I have the answer. I know the answer to that. The answer is a couple of things. Bear with me here. Number one, this fan base has been through a lot in the last 25 or 30 years, and I'll tell you, a smart man once told me, who covers the game on a week in, week out basis, good teams find a way to win. But when you lose games the way we have for the last 15 to 25 years by one possession or less, we lead the NFL in losing games by one possession or less in the last 25 years, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. You think that you're right there. You think that this is it. We're just a player away, or we're a coach away, or we're a quarterback away. And when you get your heart ripped out the way we do on a year in, year out basis, it kills you. It tears something down inside of you, which is why I understand the anti-Tua clan. The anti-Tua clan is somebody who's like, I'm not going to have my heart ripped out again. You're not going to sell me, stuff that I've been sold for years from this franchise and years from other quarterbacks.
All right,
you're not going to do it.
All right, let's pause there, right? So that's a really good point, right?
Hey, by the way, I just want to say real quick that New England Patriots right now, they're going through a divide in their fan base with Mac Jones and Zappy. So that's fun.
But let me shake money real quick. You know why their fan base is ripping apart faster? Because they weren't loyal to begin with. A good portion of their fan base came in when they were winning and they had all this, Tom Brady stuff. They weren't there in the hard times. When we finally win it, whenever that is, hopefully this year. Whatever that is,
of bandwagons.
We are not bandwagon fans. We are die-hard fans. Can nobody tell a Dolphins fan that they're a fake fan? Can't do it.
Yeah, you're right. Now, but Steven, I have a question.
It's fun to see them being divided. That's all.
Yeah. Definitely fun to see anybody divided other than the Dolphins. But a question for you, Steven. So this is my thing, and I always try to make this point, but I don't think people will kind of take it seriously or pay attention to it. But like we gave Tannehill 7 years, right?
Correct.
So we gave Tannehill 7 years.
Yep.
And we never. Do you ever felt like we really built around Tannehill, or do you think we just kind of put pieces in and tried to piece a puzzle together that didn't work out in the end?
Many reasons why the Tannehill era didn't work. Some of them were too many chefs in the kitchen, right? No pun intended.
Okay.
Some of them were you can't build something when you're constantly rotating head coaches, GMs. You can't do that. And then when the people that were in charge, by the way, were the wrong people to begin with. So it's not like, and by the wrong people, I mean there was no mesh of anybody that worked well together, right? You had Jeff Ireland, and then you had Mike Tannenbaum, and you had
it was chaos.
It was chaos, right?
It was chaos.
And then the other thing is how I always believe.
Hold on, Thomas. Go ahead, Steven.
I think winning a game starts in the trenches, and we have this problem now. You have to have a good offensive line to protect your quarterback, and if you don't have that, you don't have shit. And Miami's not had a good Miami hasn't had a good old line in 20 or 30 years, man.
Right, and I look at Tannehill and I look at the way he left. So he leaves, he goes to Tennessee, he's backing up Mariota. He comes in and immediately becomes a starter, takes the Titans to the playoffs a couple years in a row, and deep in the playoffs. And I look at where we are right now, and I look at Tua, and I'm like you guys don't learn from history. Like, we understood that Tannehill wasn't the best quarterback, but he was good enough to be a perennial playoff quarterback. With the right pieces around him, right?
Yeah, look what he's doing in Tennessee.
Exactly, and I felt like we never did enough around him, and I feel like that was the same thing with the Tua situation. It was like, are you guys ready to write this kid off already after 2 years of not doing anything around him? After not giving him anything?
The fan base is scared. CB, the fan base is scared of another of Tannehill 2.0 and us. Look, here's the reality. 7 years was way too long. But when is that cutoff point? Is it 3 years? Was it 4 years? Was it 5 years? Was it 6 years? No,
but it was but people had hope with Tannehill. They felt like he had enough to get it done.
No, there was hope is probably not the adjective that I would use. They wanted it. They died.
They wanted it to work.
They yearned for it to work out because everybody kept staying with it. It's like, it's got to work out. It's got to work out. And it never did. And that's not Tannehill's fault. And that's not the coaching's fault. It's a matter of, again, I think it goes back to Ross personally. Ross never brought the right people in. And let me just say, as much as I'm not a huge fan of Ross, the one thing I can never say about him is he hasn't tried. He has just failed miserably as an owner.
Yeah. I mean, I think this, and I don't know if it's his leadership type, or I don't know if he's hands off or hands on, but he just seems like he really isn't in tune with what's going on in his building. Mm-hmm. I think it seems like he's out of touch in regards to what's going on in this building. And maybe he's gotten to the point where he's more involved, and that's why you see him doing stuff like tampering and trying to get players. And
he wants to give us a winner, and he just doesn't know how to go about it the right way. And that's part of him being a quote unquote part-time owner. He doesn't live down there. He lives in New York. He only comes to the games on the weekends. He's not inside that building. And so when you put other people in charge, you're going to take their word over anybody. You're going to go off of your hierarchy, right? And if your hierarchy is saying this is not working out with this person, I don't want to bring this up, but I'll bring it up.
Bring it up. Let's bring it up.
I love Greer. I just want to throw that out there, okay? And I like McDaniel, and I'm okay with the route, the direction they hit in. But let's just play out that Stephen Ross was in the building every day. Do you think Stephen Ross would then have listened to Flores and they would have chosen Flores over Greer and whoever they brought in? My opinion is Flores would still be here if Ross was in that building every day. That's what I really think. But because
it's a tough call. I mean, I think if you're in the building and you see what's going on, you have a feeling for what the problem is. And I don't think he had a good feeling for what the problem was.
He could only go off of what Greer was telling him. And Greer's been in that building for 20 years. So you've known him longer. You're going to take his perspective. And
he's also asking guys like Garfinkel and other guys
who's been there 20 years, right? Who's been there 15 years.
Yeah. I mean, first of all,
in all reality, Flores never got a fair shake, and that's just the reality of the situation. That doesn't make him a bad guy. That doesn't make him the wrong guy. Doesn't make him the right guy. He just never got a fair shake when it came to Ross because Ross was not in the building full time. He wasn't.
Yeah, so you felt like he wasn't warranted in making that decision. I mean, I feel it too.
Well, that's a outside football player kind of discussion. What I wanted to ask you, Steven, is who is our wide receiver coach?
Wes Welker.
Yeah. What was Wes Welker doing before he joined the Patriots?
He was the wide receiver coach at San Francisco.
No, before he became a coach. As a player.
He was a wide receiver in the NFL for 15 plus years, I think. 14 years.
Yeah. For the Patriots.
What did the Patriots, the
Broncos,
when
Dolphins too. But he used to play for the Phins too.
Yeah.
He started here.
Yeah, I know.
We let him go. We traded him. So
right. So what's your point, Thomas?
Yeah.
That's the thing I hate about the Patriots is that somehow they find talent when nobody else sees it. Wes Welker was a kick returner, a punt returner for the Dolphins. And they got traded to the fucking Patriots and became one of the best wide receivers.
Do you know why, though, Thomas?
Yeah, do you know why? Yeah,
for as much as we hate as a Dolphin fan base, we hate him. As much as we hate Belichick, he's the smartest fucking guy in the history of the NFL. He is. You can't argue that.
No, I agree.
Talent. He knows talent. And you got
guys, and I don't even think it's a big talent thing with Wes Welker. I mean, with Belichick. I think it's a big program system that Belichick has in place. It's the type of system he runs, and there are certain coaches that can get away with running that system where, hey, I just want players who are going to work hard, bust their ass, come in, do what they're supposed to do, and I'm going to reward them as a result of that. They don't have to be the fastest or the most talented guys, but they just got to come in and be system guys.
He's a system guy, and you have to now. What we are seeing now, post Brady, the post Brady era in New England,
struggle
is it. Well, you have to have talent at certain positions. You can't just get away with this with having these blanket talent, this blanket, talent and being part of a system
and he always had talent too, Steven. He had talent. He just knew where he needed his talent.
But it's easy for Matt Castle to step in for 11 games in a year when you need it. It's easy when you have Jacoby Brissett to step in for 2. It's easy when you have Jimmy Garoppolo to step in for a couple of games. But you have that guy in the corner, that leader on and off the field in Brady. Now that Brady's gone, there's nobody in that room to really lead that team because the reality of the situation is it didn't matter who was calling plays when Brady was there. Brady was the one that had the final say there, right? Let's get that straight. And so now that Brady's gone, you got Wack Jones and Billy Zappi. And look, I personally think he is going through exactly what he went through in Cleveland. And what he went through in Cleveland when he was the head coach of the Browns from 92 to 95 was there was not a lot of talent inside that locker room to develop the system he was trying to input. He was close. Let's not get that twisted. Belichick was close with that Browns team, but could never quite get them over the hump. But it wasn't until he got full control of that team in New England. And let's call a spade a spade. Not that he got lucky. I don't like using that word, but he found the right guy and developed him the right way in Brady. And Brady is a product of look, he's the greatest quarterback to ever play. I can't stand him. He's a crybaby. As a fan, I can't stand the guy. But he was a product of having the best coach, and that coach got the most out of him. And he was a smart guy too, and that's why he won a Super Bowl in Tampa, because he has an arm, he's smart, and he knew what he needed to win, and that's why he won a Super Bowl in Tampa too.
Yeah, that Bucs team was super talented, man. I mean, you had studs.
Steven.
Yeah.
The worst Dolphins coach is the best college coach right now.
Nick Saban.
Nah, he was not the worst.
Let's not. All right, so that's I understand what you're saying, Thomas. But the reason he was the worst coach,
Cameron.
Look, personally, I think Joe Philbin was the worst, but that's neither here nor there.
Joe Philbin was bad.
I thought Joe Philbin was the worst. But with that being said,
fire sale.
Well, I'll go real quick. I'll talk about all three of those guys. We'll start with Nick Saban. Nick Saban was a successful, won a championship at LSU, was a successful college coach, but there's a huge difference from the college game to the pros. And the reason that Jimmy Johnson was able to make that switch from college to the pros, to go from Miami to Dallas, was because he had the full support of Jerry Jones behind him. Nick Saban never had the full support of everybody in that building. There was people in that building who didn't like Saban and actively behind closed doors fought against them. And there were two sides in that building why Saban was there. That's why Saban wanted to bring in. Remember, Saban wanted to bring in Drew Brees. The Dolphins doctors nixed it, and they decided to go with the GM or whoever was running the team at the time decided we're going to go with what the doctors say, and we're just going to have to go a different route. If it was up to Saban, Drew Brees would have been there. Let's just get that straight, and that would have made things totally different for our franchise. I think that's my thought on Saban. Saban left because of the front office.
Let me throw in something real quick. Let me throw in a quick caveat. Another difference between Jimmy Johnson and Nick Saban was that Jimmy Johnson got his players young and he was able to mold them. When Nick Saban got there, he got Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor. A lot of these players were already stuck in their ways, and was hard to get. Nick Saban it was hard for Nick Saban to get them to see his vision.
Wait! Hold on. Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor, the best two defensive players on the Dolphins in the 1990s. You didn't have to do nothing with them. All you had to do is tell them go out there. There was no training those two.
Yeah, but
I met those two.
They had, except for Jason Taylor, him and Zach Thomas used to butt heads.
Yeah, but Thomas, if you ask real quick,
no, they didn't butt heads. The reason why they butt heads is because Jason Taylor cheated on his wife, who was Zach Thomas's sister.
You're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
That happened
Zach
down
Thomas
the line. That didn't happen during the tenure there.
Zach Thomas and Zach. As a matter of fact, Zach Thomas told Nick Saban, "You're talking to a grown ass fucking man." So him and Nick Saban got bump heads all the time.
And that's why you went back to college, because he can't handle real men.
Let me
y'all are getting into like the details of it, and it's not.
I know. Let me go to the other two guys. So Philbin,
my bad.
So the reason Philbin didn't work out, Philbin was never the guy to begin with. Philbin was the Dolphins' 7th or 8th choice to be the head coach of that team, and the only reason he got it is because he was an offensive line coach who had success being in Green Bay, and so they felt like, where's Miami's weakest at? The O-line. What can Philbin come and do? He can come here and fix the O-line. And he was their 7th or 8th choice. He wasn't a player's coach. He didn't have the personality. All the veterans clashed with him. Philbin, in my opinion, was the worst head coach in Dolphins history. Cam Cameron didn't work here and was here for 1 year because he had one of the worst teams in NFL history. He went 1-15.
Whoa. But you got to realize something, and this is what I was trying to say. He came in here and traded away a lot of players. And I actually got the chance to meet Chris Chambers, and I talked to Chris Chambers about that. So he was one of those. He was the main guy who he traded away. Chris Chambers, he traded away. McDaniels, I think, was the tight end that we had at the time.
Randy, are you talking about Cam Cameron?
Randy McMichael.
Randy McMichaels.
Bro, I was 10, so don't go after me. I was 10 years old, bro. But anyways, I'm young buck. But he traded away a lot of that team. So that's what I was trying to say. And Wes Welker, if I'm not mistaken, was one of them.
So well, let's just put it like this. Look, let's put it like this.
He
The
did it to
Dolphins have
himself.
had some shitty ass coaches.
100%.
The leadership
it's
in the
not
front
even-
office has been
They
shitty
were
too.
they never should have been put in
situations.
the power of head. They never should have been put in the position of head coach to begin with. And the reason that they were is because upper management has always been a shit show with our organization
It's always
for
been
years.
a shit show, bro. And that's the
For
thing
years.
with it. Always been that. Even when it comes to like drafting players, even when it comes to trading away players, it's just always been drama. It's always been a shit show. I feel like we're finally getting some stability a little bit. Right.
And
I feel like,
and by the way, I think that's a direct result of Greer CB83. I think Greer has a lot to do with that.
I think Ross
no.
giving Greer the power to be the GM.
Correct. He's not
it's
stepping
solely
in on it.
that. Right.
Yep.
I think him giving him the power to be the GM and not having a bunch of different
And a blank
voices.
check. Go do whatever you want. I'll endorse it.
Yeah. It's not that. Now, I do appreciate what Greer's doing now. I mean, his drives haven't been out home runs, but they've been solid, and that's all you could ask for from a GM.
Dude,
Because
he stole Javon Holland. He's not gonna hit
home runs every year, but he's made
some great
gems.
choices. He's made some great choices.
So I mean, I like where we're at right now, and I think do we do it? And let's talk about GM and what his role is. There is a trade deadline Tuesday. Do we make a move before Tuesday to help this team?
It depends on what happens Sunday. It depends on what happens on Sunday.
It depends on what happens Sunday.
I don't think it's
No.
The Lions game.
We have to pick up another O-line somewhere somehow. We need another O-line.
You know what's going to require to do that, right? You know what we're going to have to give up to get that.
Yeah, everything we've got left. But who cares?
Everything
we've got all the pieces.
Is this team good enough to win a wait?
So give up the rest of your draft picks. I would.
Is this team good enough to win right now to the point where you would mortgage next year's future in the draft to go get players?
Yes.
And win right now. I'm gonna start with Big Philly. What do you think, Philly?
I think that we have enough, not now to go. Obviously, not to make. Well, we can, but
when I say mortgage the future, I mean give up next year's 1, 2, and 3.
I would not do that. No. I would develop what we have now. Don't get me wrong. Look, and I said it. If we trade for somebody, I hope we trade for Bowen. If we're gonna give the kitchen sink, I'll go after Bowen.
That's the player you would go after.
If I'm gonna give up the kitchen sink, I'm gonna go after Bowen.
Yeah,
that's it.
All right, that's
it.
All right,
that's it.
Thomas, what do you think? So that's the only move you're making, Big Philly, is the tackle is
right now. Yeah, if I'm gonna give up the kitchen sink, now you can go get a good, solid backup. I say that the actual position that we need to target depth at is corner, and the reason being is we don't know what's gonna happen with Byron Jones. So I would say getting depth at corner would help us, and it'll put a lot of stress off of Howard too. But that's what I would focus my attention to, not the offensive line at this moment. They played well against Pittsburgh. Let's see what they do against Detroit. If they come out and they leave a goose egg, then get another tackle.
All right. I think everybody so far has said some really good points. So let me break this down a little bit. In a dream world, this is what I would want the Miami Dolphins to do. I don't think this is all going to happen, by the way. I'm just saying in a dream world. In a dream world, I agree with Big Philly. I think the number one person the Dolphins should go after is Taylor Moton. I think he's a guy that you cannot find on a year-in, year-out basis. Mm-hmm. I think he's worth a first-round pick. He's worth mortgaging your future to go out and get somebody of his value. And I think it helps you today, and it helps you with making a playoff run, and it just overall helps your offensive line. Now, the other people that I think could also make a difference are somebody like Kareem Hunt for a fourth-round pick. Would love to do it. I would make that trade all day long. I think there are some, but I also think that what somebody said a little bit ago, it depends on what happened on Sunday. Now, here's where that's a little bit different. I'm not just necessarily talking about the Miami Dolphins game. What happens on Sunday with a lot of 2-5, 3-4, 3-3, whatever your record is, those teams that are like around 500, if they lose on Sunday and they go to 3-5, or they go to
Teams
2-6,
teams like the Bucks.
you want all
who
those
just
teams to
lost.
lose. And because here's the reality. Tampa Bay losing could have a positive impact on the trade market on Tuesday. Because now they're
100%.
one more team that might be like, fuck it. We might as well
They
just
could
get whatever we
hey.
can get. Yep. And let's just prepare for the future.
I
So
saw Todd Bowles. I saw Todd Bowles getting into Devin White last night.
Yep. And so
I would love to have Devin White, man. Send him our way right now.
I want the Dolphins to address 3 positions: the offensive line, anybody in the secondary, and middle linebacker.
Yeah.
And if you could address those 3 things, you can make a playoff run. Now, with that being said, do I think the Dolphins are set for success as is? Well, I said it earlier, and I'll say it again, CB83. The NFL as a whole sucks right now. They do. There's nobody that's running away with this thing. And this is a prime year for the Dolphins.
But we suck too, Stephen D. According to everybody else, we suck
our
too.
Our record is not great. Our record is not great. But what I do know, CB83, is that when our starting quarterback starts and finishes a game, and I know some of the fans hate when I say that, but when he starts and finishes a game,
undefeated.
We're 4-0.
Undefeated.
And so there's something to be said of that, CB. And I am prepared, if for the right personnel, for the right people, I'm prepared to mortgage the future to make a run this year for it. 100%.
I'm with it. And that's where
I think we'll do it, though? I don't know. I don't know. And here's why.
Hey,
because
look, but you got to look at what we've done so far, Steven. Like, we've beat the Buffalo Bills. We've beat the Ravens. Why wouldn't Greer be sitting back and licking his chops like, damn, let me get 2 more players? Two more players could really
without him.
No,
that's why.
I understand we beat him without him, but just imagine if we could add some talent, it would be leaps and bounds in regards to where we could be if we added a really solid piece in the middle, like a middle linebacker, like a Roquan Smith. If we added a Roquan Smith,
it would be amazing. It would be amazing, CB83. But you have to realize we probably have to get I think we're going to be buyers and sellers at the trade deadline if we want Greer to do what we all want him to do, and that's be aggressive.
And that means I'm fine with selling.
And that means sending Mike Gesicki or Cedric Wilson or maybe even Chase Edmonds down the road for somebody else if you can get some other talent in here in return. And I think there's a market out there for those guys, for the right teams to get, if teams are wanting to cut salary and get rid of guys and then just have guys fill in to replace them. There's plenty of teams out there that would want that just for the rest of this year. And so, I don't know what Greer does, because you got to remember, this is not the NBA. This is not Major League Baseball, where the NBA and Major League Baseball at trade deadline, you see 20 trades, you feel like. In the NFL, the most I've ever seen on a trade deadline day, I think, is 4, maybe 5 trades. It just doesn't happen often.
Yeah. I mean, teams are pretty set when they have their 53s, man.
Hey, CB, Steven, we can't get rid of Gesicki. That's our target. That's our big target. We got to keep him.
Like Gesicki, but if we got rid of him and we got something in return for him, Thomas, if we got,
what are we going to get for Gesicki? What do we have to throw to target wise? Out. Yeah,
we got Cedric. We got to force Cedric Wilson to play. We force Cedric Wilson into the roster, man.
So Thomas, So Thomas, let me break this down for you a little bit. This is the last thing I'm gonna say that I'm gonna get off.
No, you ain't.
I like Gesicki. I think Gesicki is awesome. I think Gesicki is in the right offense could be a top 5 tight end in the entire NFL. I think if you put Gesicki on somebody like Green Bay or I'm trying to think, Tennessee or somebody like that, I think those teams would thrive having a guy like Gesicki at tight end. Our offense just doesn't necessarily fit like that. Now, with that being said, he is a talent and he's great. but I don't think he's the best tight end. You heard what I said, tight end on this roster. I think
he'd be the
tight,
best CB3.
I think Durham Smythe is the best tight end on this roster.
He is.
And so I think if you allowed Durham to play more, you got rid of Gesicki for some draft picks or whatever, you might even be able to turn around and use those draft picks to go get a player like Roquan Smith or Taylor Moton or somebody like that. And so if it leads to getting an impact player like that this year, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I don't see any. Look, I don't see any teams doing that though. And let me tell you this, and this is why I brought this up earlier. If you get rid of Gesicki, he's going to be the next Wes Welker.
I don't disagree with that.
Man, I mean, players leave and they're good everywhere else. I mean, I don't mind that. And that's just how it is sometimes.
Thomas, if Gesicki leaves, no matter
go,
where Thomas,
he's
going to
be the next Wes Welker. He's going to fucking thrive.
But here's the thing, though. We all know that. We get it. It's the reality of the situation. It's not like we're being left with crap. We have two of the best 5 wide receivers in the NFL, and Jalen Waddle and Tyreekhill. I'm okay with giving up Gesicki.
Like a large target.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, Thomas. We need targets. We need guys to make plays. I think Gesicki's missed some plays. I think he's a solid tight end. I think he doesn't do as much as
he's a solid receiver. He's a solid receiver.
Yeah, you're right. I think he's not as versatile as good tight ends. He's not a Kittle. He's not Hawkinson. He's not Kelsey. He's none of those guys.
He's not Waller.
He's not Waller.
A blocker.
Yeah, but you gotta be, as a tight end. You gotta
in
be
this offense, though, Thomas. You have to block at tight end, and he doesn't.
That's what I'm saying.
And we all know that.
We need to change his profile. He's not a blocker.
You can't.
He's a wide receiver.
You can't. But he can't. So is he better than our wide receivers?
He's better than Cedric Wilson.
Yeah.
All right. So to Thomas's point, okay, let me play this out there. If you're willing to go to Gesicki and say, you know what, you're not going to play a tight end anymore. We're going to put you with a 3, and you're going to be standing up for the rest of the season. By all means, keep him. But that's not what they're doing, Thomas. They're still having him play from some of the tight end set, and that's not fair to Smythe, and that's not fair to this offense and being the productive as it can be.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's fair, but Smythe can do the job.
Not on him. That's on the coaching.
So what we need to do is go get another O-line, but not trade Gesicki.
Yeah, I mean, you're in love with Gesicki, Thomas. I get it. I mean,
I love fucking Gesicki.
Yeah, I know. You sound like it.
He's Wes Welker. I've seen it happen before.
He's not Wes Welker, but I will tell you, he will be successful wherever he goes. He will be
exactly.
Look. I don't think he's going to be. He's never going to be an All-Pro Pro Bowl.
Oh, I disagree with that.
Whoa.
Hey, if you put Gesicki never going to be a pro when he was just a punt returner, he would thrive, bro.
He won't separate. He's not a separator, guys, and he's not Look. So he's not a separator, and he's not a guy who's going to box a guy out and make a play. He's not a Kittle where he's going to get
box
a big frame.
A guy out. All he has to do is tip on his tippy toes, and he's already 4 feet higher.
The guys, these corners are more athletic than you think they are.
Oh my God, there's not a single corner in this game that can out jump Mike Gesicki.
So why doesn't he have a 100-yard game?
I don't know about that, Thomas.
So why doesn't he have a 80-yard game yet?
Thomas. Yeah, I disagree with that, Thomas. What I will
why are we forcing him the ball? I saw that. It was a great catch. It was one of the best catches we've seen all year.
Name one cornerback that was going to catch that ball over Gesicki. Name one.
JP Jackson. We're in week 8 and he only has 197 yards. We're in week 8 and he only has 197 yards.
Yeah, we're not.
I'm averaging 30 yards a game.
I'm not saying he's running a 4-1 going down the field. I'm saying when that man jumps up, he's coming down.
You have to. All right, so admit this, Thomas. He's a liability in a Mike McDaniel offense. Admit that.
He's a liability as a blocker.
He's a liability in Mike McDaniel's offense.
As a blocker in Mike McDaniel's offense, he's a liability.
He is. Because here's the reality of the situation, Thomas. When he gets in a 3-point stance, you can take it to the bank that it's going to be a pass. You can take it to the bank when that man is in a 3-point stance that it's going to be a pass. Because there's
Steven,
no
it's
way
either
in
going to be
God's
a
green
pass.
are they going to run the ball when he's in a 3-point stance.
Steven, it's either going to be a pass or they're going to be running away from him and he's going to be missing the block.
He is a liability. Everybody and their brother knows.
I'll give you that. But if you're going to trade Gesicki, it better be for a very, very good O-lineman. Nothing
or a very high draft pick.
Nah, I'm not cool with draft picks at this
not
point.
draft pick.
I'm good.
Proven,
CD, listen, I'm good with the
picks.
draft pick if it yields a
impact
player.
Okay, you didn't say that though.
There's no three. Now, here's the thing. I want you to listen to this for a second. There's no 3-way trades in the NFL. It's not that it can't be done. It's just never been done. There's never been a 3-way trade in the NFL. So you're going to trade Gesicki to a playoff team. That playoff team or a team that's in the running, that team's not going to give up a starting offensive lineman. That team's not going to give up a starting linebacker or a starting corner. But you're going to give that but they might give up a 2nd-round pick, right?
Yeah, you may be able to use that second and flip it, right?
Correct. And so you take that second and you go flip it for a Roquan or Moton or whatever,
Bro, the play. Everybody's talking about Kareem Hunt. The play is Roquan. Chicago isn't a very good football team.
Kareem for a 4th is perfect. I would make that trade 10 out of 10 times.
I'm taking Roquan over running back. I mean, we got enough running backs to me. Our running back, we're fine at the position. It's not like our guys are missing blocks or not hitting the hole. I think it's just we need that solid piece in the middle. And in order for us to be in contention and to be in the playoffs and be able to scrap with teams like Buffalo, Kansas City, playoffs.
We're just trying to win a game.
Hey, we need that guy in the middle who's going to be a dog and who's just going to run that shit.
Hey man, I'm gonna get out of here, bro. I just want to say, if you have not liked or subscribed or donated to CB83, do all those things because CB83 puts on amazing content. Y'all need to understand this guy is he's got something here. CB83 is one of the best that I like in the community that we call the Dolphin community. So I love you, brother. Keep doing your thing.
Stephen D, you cursed. You go to the swear jar.
Hey, follow Stephen D. Hey, the best Miami Dolphins morning show ever. Hey, you killing the game right now, man. You make sure y'all follow Stephen D. Miami Sports Music, man. You know what time it is, man.
We're less than 400 subscribers away from 10,000, so let's go.
10K. Let's get it. Hey, shout out to you. I appreciate you coming through, bro.
Love you, brother. Be good, man.
Later, Steven.
Later, bud.
Hey, guys, we are doing final takes. We've been going for 2.5 hours, boy.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
We be getting
Ain't
after
nothing wrong with that,
man. Hey, Thomas, it's your first time on here, second time? Second time on here, man. Hey, give me your final take. Give me your game point prediction for the Miami Dolphins Sunday. So I want your final take, and then give me your final score for the game on Sunday. Let us know who's going to be the winners and losers of that game too, man.
All right. I'm not going to take it easy on the Detroit Lions because they won their first 2 games, and then they fell off. But Tua's back. He's going to knock the rust off. So their defense is the worst when it comes to the pass. It's going to be a blowout. I think our defense, as hurt as we are, we have such a depth chart on our defense that it's not even fair. Like any other, if you took 4 players out of the best defenses, they probably lose.
They struggle. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
But we didn't struggle. They held on. So I'm going to say if Tua is the Tua that I believe he is, and I'm not a Tua-neer. I hate Alabama. I hate Alabama with a passion. If Tua plays the way I think he can play, It's going to be 35-6. 35-6.
Big win. I like it.
That's going to be 7 touchdowns for Tua.
7, not 7. That's a lot of points.
35, baby. 7.
Ooh, that's a lot of points, man. That's 5 touchdowns, man. Yeah, but I mean that would be a good game. That would be a good game, Thomas. I appreciate you coming out, man. Hey, you have a good night, my bro.
Hey, love you, bro.
All right, be good, man.
Peace.
All right, Shake, what you got? Or actually, let's go with Big Philly. Big Philly, what you got, man? Final take in score the Dolphins game.
Miami 38.
Ooh, 38.
Detroit 32.
Ooh, defense giving up 32. I like it. All right. Any other things you want to say? I appreciate you coming through, man. It's always cool to have you up here, bro.
You good, man. You guys wanted to show some love. I know every time I miss you, I just miss you. So I said, let me come on. I ain't doing nothing tonight. So
yeah. I gotta get on your show too, man. I gotta check out Big Philly's show too, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to Big Philly. Hit on his channel. Hey, send me your link too. Send me your link and I'll put it in the chat too, man.
No, I'll do that now, brother. Hey, I got my first jersey raffle giveaway. So
you're doing a jersey raffle. Who you giving away?
I have three actually. I'm not gonna tell you the last two.
Okay.
People might not want to do it. But the first one's Nick Needham. I got a Nick Needham jersey.
Nick Needham sign joint, huh?
Sign, yeah. Nick Needham auto.
Game joint?
Game cut.
Nice. Game cut. I like it.
We're doing our first one for some subscribers, so we'll see what's up. You know how it is.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do, bro. Have a good night, man.
Thank you. Likewise, you too, man. Y'all have a good night, guys. And make sure y'all like and subscribe to CB83.
I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, big dog.
You good, man. Always.
All right, bro.
Have a good night.
Yep. Shake, what's good with you? You there? It's another beautiful day. It's a moon day. Another beautiful day, man.
Beautiful day, man. I got 31-14, Miami Dolphins, of course. And no, man, I appreciate you coming by Wednesday, man. It was good Discord, bro.
Bro, we did it. We had a really good conversation, man. And guys, you got to check out Shake, Larry, every Wednesday, right?
Yeah. Wednesday at 7:00, baby.
Man, Wednesday. Yeah. It's on Larry K's channel. What's the name of the channel?
Yeah, it's called Larry. It's Larry Fury Fam.
Fury Fam. Y'all got to check out that because that was really good discourse. Hey, we had a really good conversation. It was solid, man. We just kind of talked Dolphins and what was going on, man.
Yeah, man. And this Wednesday, and I said, it's all in good fun, man, by the way, what I'm about to do. But this Wednesday, I'm making a drink loosely based off the Rusty Nail. It's going to be called a Rusty Tour. You got to check it out. It's a blended drink.
I gotta check it out, man. I'm definitely gonna be around to check out it's called the Rusty Tour, right?
Yeah. So I'm not going to reveal the liquors I'm going to be putting in it, but you'll love it when you see it.
I feel like since it's rust, you got to put something brown in there. You got to have a brown liquor in there.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it's based off the Rusty Nail. You know the Rusty Nail is?
Nah, I never heard of that.
Well, yeah, it's pretty much Scotch and B&B.
Oh, okay, I got
Scotch and Scotch, not B&B. I'm thinking of Scotch. There's a honey liqueur Scotch. I forgot what's it called. You know what I'm talking about? It's a honey.
It sounds good. It sounds good, whatever it is.
Yeah, but I got my own. It's like I said, it's loosely based off of that. Yeah. So I have all the ingredients now, and I'm gonna be making it this Wednesday. So check it out, man.
Hey, I appreciate you. Hey, I appreciate you coming up, Shake. It's always love, here, bro.
That's what's up, bro.
All right, man.
Thank you, man.
All right, bro. Have a good one. All right, guys. It's Phins Take with CB83. Hey, another episode, man. I appreciate you guys having me tonight, coming through and checking me out, man. it's been a while since I've been live, man. Like I said, I had birthday parties and traveling, man. So it's been a while since I've been live, but I'm back. I'm gonna be cranking up more often, man. I might crank up tomorrow and just mess around for a little bit. Get up here and talk that talk. Man, I was expecting a big turnout from the Wolfpack tonight. I'm disappointed. I'm truly disappointed. I only had one member show up, and that was Von Joe. Tell them other dudes, when you see them other dudes in the chat, be like, yo, why y'all didn't pull up? Y'all had all the energy the other day, but them dudes want no smoke, man. I saw EM come through here. I didn't see Lewis. I never saw Lewis. Lewis said he was coming. He was pulling up. Maybe Lewis got cold feet. Somebody text Lewis and ask him why he got cold feet. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a good time. It's all in fun. The Wolfpack, if one show up, I thought all would show up. That's usually how they work. They usually jump on a panel. Where's Crypto yelling and all the nonsense, man? You gotta expect it from them guys, man. But hey, I appreciate y'all coming out. Like I said, I'll probably go live either tomorrow or Sunday again and just kind of talk Dolphins, talk about the game, man. I'm looking forward to it. Another opportunity for us to go out, play some football. Another opportunity for us to see our team. Hey, maybe we explode this week. Do we take off offensively? Do we just get to the point where we're just balling out and nobody can stop us?
I hope so.
Okay. Yeah, I hope so. I really do, man. Hey, so I really do hope we go out and play well, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all having me. It's Phins up to the death, man. Phins up. Hit the like on the way out. Subscribe, share. Get one person. If you could get one person to subscribe for me, I'd greatly appreciate that. Just get one person to subscribe. I was at 498. I'm just trying to get to 500. One show at a time, man. I'm gonna start cranking up more often and giving you guys more content and doing some cool stuff. More film breakdowns coming. They are coming. I know you guys like those, so I'm gonna do more of those too, man. Like I said, I appreciate everybody coming out. Hey, and on Sunday, you're gonna see that Tua glow. Don't worry. It's been a while since I've done it, but it's coming. The glow is coming back. The Bruce Leroy glow.
Let me go, motherfucker. Let me go.
Hey, it's coming. It is coming, guys. Hey, it's Finn's Take with CB83. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. See ya.
Came from the bottom, that's foreign. I swear that I'm up for the sun in the morning. Oof, hey, I gotta flex. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, oof, I sort them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't